10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey guys!
Hello!
How's it
Hello.
going? Good to see you.
Good!
Yeah.
We're finally here!
Yes. This is a lot of fun. I'm really happy you
Yes,
guys are
it's
here
gonna
with
be
me.
fun.
This is the first
Me
time
too.
I have 2 people calling in from different places.
Well, aren't
So-
we lucky?
Yes. As long as we don't talk over each other too much, it's fine. Yeah.
I'll do my best.
Yeah. Just
I'm trying my best.
interrupt us constantly, you know? This is good.
Mm.
Hi, everybody. This is the 4th episode of the 2nd season of the Messy Desk series, which I started. So just trying to have some fun conversations and showcase some different artists and their work. And I'm very excited today because this is the first time I'm going to have a luthier here, Den Toom, on your bottom right here, who
Hello.
builds guitars. So his artistry is a little bit different. And then there's Filip Alilovic, right?
Yes.
Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, you did.
Oh wow,
You did.
amazing! First
Yeah.
try. I should have asked. I should have asked before the stream, but I didn't.
Most people don't get it at the first try, but you did well.
Ah, yes, awesome,
Yeah.
great, good start.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is a guitarist from Croatia? So why don't you start, Filip, and just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, and then Steven can talk about himself, and then we're gonna listen to some music. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm a guitarist and composer, which roots are in Croatia, but I'm living in Germany and working here as a musician and musician teacher, and I'm also performing and composing stuff every day when I can, and when I have the free time, I'm transcribing and making new pieces,
nice,
and that's what I do actually. So that's basically my job.
awesome.
Mm.
And Steven?
Well, so I am this crazy luthier guy. I started building guitars around 7 years ago. I did like a masterclass thing, a study in Belgium. And I've been having my own workshop for about 4 years right now in Germany.
Cool, nice, awesome.
Yes.
Super cool. And actually, Filip is playing one of your guitars, right? That's part of the reason for you coming together on the stream.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So, and the guitar is right there, actually. We can see it.
Yeah,
It
that's
is.
Lucy. Yeah, that's
Yes.
Lucy.
Beautiful.
The big rosette is the sign of it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, David Doctor says, Steve, your hair is amazing. I think we all have to agree.
Dankjewel.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
And Matej Berlot says, agree, absolutely fabulous. Yes, I think, I don't know if she's talking about the guitar, about Steven. I don't know. We'll see. And
Well, let's just presume he's talking about the whole picture.
yeah, the whole picture. And Jean Marquez Diaz Canedo says hi to everyone. Hi. And
Hi,
Heike Mathiasen says, hey guys, great to see you. Great to see you too, Heike. Heike, yeah. So we're gonna listen to some music, and it's Filip playing a piece on Steven's guitar, right? So do you want to talk about this piece a bit, Filip? You wrote it, so.
Yeah, it's a waltz. I've written out of 3 waltzes, which got published by Bergman Edition this year, and they are like a cycle of different waltzes in different styles written. The first one is a bit neoclassicistic. The second one we listen now is more towards the Romantic era, and the third one is a more postmodern and modern waltz.
Okay.
With more atonalic elements and so.
Awesome. Super cool. So we're gonna listen to the second one. Yeah, and this is played on Lucy, Steven's guitar, so it's kind of special. Spela Simone6 says, yes, fabulous tie. If you know, you know. Hashtag if you know, you know. Very nice. I agree, the tie is great. Okay,
Thanks.
let's listen to this.
So, that was the waltz number 2 of mine. I didn't play this piece for ages, surely like 3 years ago or something like that. But I hope even in Corona times, this happy piece can give you happy feelings, even if it's a time full of despair and crisis and people worrying about their existence. Also me as a musician, of course, but I'm always trying to stay positive as much as I can. I wish you a good day and all the best.
Very heartfelt. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Beautiful
Thanks.
piece. Very
Yeah,
nice
thank
piece.
you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. People are
It's
loving
actually one of the, I believe it's the first piece Filip actually played for me when I met him.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
one of the
okay.
first. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
on that guitar though. When did you guys meet?
Like
Oh.
in December 2018.
Okay.
December, yeah, in December 2018.
And
And-
why is it this specific? Because it was like 3-4 days before Christmas. And,
Oh, nice.
That's why I remember.
Cool.
Yeah, and we were like talking in Facebook chat,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then he said, "I'm a luthier from Winterberg, and would be nice to meet you and stuff." And I said, "Okay, very interesting." And then I checked his homepage too, and we talked for hours about guitars, guitar building, and what he does. And then I saw this young guy, 20 years old, building that kind of guitars.
Mhm.
And then I was really interested into it,
Mhm.
because I've searched for another guitar. I was using for ages another guitar, cedar top, very long time. And I've really searched for a new instrument.
Mhm.
And then I stumbled across this guy and was like, okay, now we are gonna meet. And then we met there in his house. And the first thing we did, we just talked about guitars, not only about his, but all around about everything what is around the art.
Mhm.
And we drank a lot of coffee. And then we became very good friends, actually.
Nice.
So, yeah. So
That's important.
we also meet privately often and go outside together and
Yeah.
the usual stuff.
Cool.
Go party.
Yeah.
Go party, yeah. Yes.
Nice. Yes, it's always the best to work with people who you're friends with, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
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 And
But
oft-
it is that is kind of difficult sometimes, though.
Mhm.
Because with some people you do business with, you have a sort of a distant personal relationship, I would say.
Yeah.
But maybe in some occasions that's fine, you know. If it's a professional relationship, it's also okay. But
Yeah,
of course,
for
it
sure.
just makes it that much more heartfelt and interesting if it's also on a personal level, I would say.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. I mean, often if you have a good professional relationship working with someone and you both communicate well, then you make a friendship out of it, right? So
Yeah.
that also-
Automatically, usually, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure. Well, this is fun. I mean, like, I didn't know either of you before. I don't know how this. Well, I mean, you and I like sort of chatted, Stephen. You just chatted people up on Facebook, I guess. But I.
Yeah. Well, don't get into that.
No, but we.
No. Well, actually, indeed, Michael, I did. I believe I saw you the first time, like sharing a video that you recorded for Aylon Amir.
Yeah. Of Elon Amir
And
playing
I'm-
Bach. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm good friends with Aylon. And then, I just started the video. And I'm like, oh, great, he makes nice videos. And then I just wrote you like, hey, nice video. I'm
Yeah,
friends
yeah.
with Aylon. And then you were like, you're friends with Aylon. Okay, you're my friend.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. Yeah.
And then I believe I watched one or two of your podcasts partly, and then I was entirely interested by the idea. I thought it was a great way to stay connected, even though we're all in quarantine.
Yeah.
Um,
It's tricky.
so then I wrote you like, hey, maybe we can discuss having myself on the show at some point. Maybe you were interested in having a luthier on it. for
Yeah,
sort
I
of a
think it's
different
super
background.
cool. I mean, I know so little about guitar making, so this is going to be an education for me. So please educate
that's
me.
fine.
You know. But I'm curious, since you are pretty young, but like what's the process of learning to become a luthier? Like, what are the steps? What have you done in your training in a detailed manner, I guess?
Well, I started playing classical guitar when I was about 10 years old. and was sort of interested by the whole sound and dynamic of it. And then I switched to electric guitar playing because I thought that rock was pretty cool as well. But I never like lost my interest in classical guitar, but it sort of became a background thing. And then when I was about 15, 16, I had a friend talking to me about violin making. Then I was super curious because I never heard of it. And then I figured, well, if there's violin making, there should be guitar making / building, right? And I've always been fascinated by how the thing works and generally how things work. So then I hit up this school on Google and I saw it and I'm like, wow, there's actually a guitar building school which is called like luthier, like luthier. What's that word? You know?
Yeah.
So then I started doing some research and I found out that it was actually in Belgium, this study. And I was living in Netherlands at the time, so it meant if I would be interested to go there that I had to move out. But then again, I was quite young, so like I was 16 I was 15 when I found out about this study. And it was a Saturday evening, and then I had been discussing with my parents what I was going to do as a follow-up of my school days. And then I remember really clearly, it was Saturday evening, like 10:30 in the night, and then I just found out about this school, right? So I went downstairs and told my parents, like, hey, I have an idea for what I might be able to do, you know? And then they just turned off the television immediately, like, what's it? So then I told them, like, yeah, so there's this guitar building school. They were like, okay. They were like, oh, that sounds really cool. That should be totally something for you. And then the second question they asked me, where is it, the school? Presumably, you know, because they never heard of it either. And then I said, well, it's in Antwerp, in Belgium. Then they sort of looked at each other and like, shall we drive there tomorrow and just have a look?
Can we get rid of him now?
Exactly. No, that's what I did.
It's already starting.
You have to break the story, really?
Damn!
I hardly know you, and I'm already Okay, so you found out about it, and you were set on it pretty quickly. It sounds like then, like you were pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I was like totally just fascinated by this whole thing, and I had been reading about like guitars and about woods a little bit as a hobby before, like half a year before, accidentally, basically. But then I found out this school, and I was immediately like grabbed, like, oh wow, this is so awesome. And so I signed up and I moved and I spent 3 years there. It was great, you know, it was an amazing experience. And so coming back to your question, sorry, I did a little bit of a detour.
It's okay.
But you asked me like, what are the steps? So I did this this course, and so each year you like learn to do more advanced techniques in terms of decoration and construction. So the first guitar I built was this romantic guitar in the first year, and it took me a whole year to finish it, right? Because I had never worked with tools in that way, like with proper chisels and like saws and planes and doing everything by hand, because I learned really the old way, like no machines involved. The first 5 guitars I built were all by hand.
Wow.
And most of them that I build are still like 90% handmade. I have just a little router for some tiny bits, but the rest is all handmade.
Wow.
So anyway, I did this study, and basically the school was pretty loose, so we were left pretty free to do our own research, and that triggered me more to like start doing my own research. So I bought a few books on guitar building, and I visited a few luthiers locally in Antwerp who were doing it as a hobby, but still knew more about it than me. So I was curious to learn about them as well. So that has brought me to this point, basically, like 7 years later, you know, like step by step, doing more complicated things in terms of the guitar. And after a while, of course, the construction stays the same, but the decoration can change. So that's where the difficulty varies with each instrument. Yeah.
Cool.
And I should add, by the way, that I started building copies, and then I will wrap it up. But I started building copies, and when I moved to Germany, I talked to a luthier from Amsterdam, Otto Vowinkle. He's quite a well-established Dutch luthier. and he gave me a few like straight on heads up, like you should make your own model.
Yeah.
Stop building copies, because copies are sort of, he didn't believe in copies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he pushed me to get like the confidence to produce like my own model, and so that was great, and I thank him dearly for that advice, because it really has brought me a lot to actually make a bit of a difference there, not making copies.
Yeah, you know, I think this is also applicable to performers. Like, I think too many classical guitarists, well, classical musicians in general maybe, are used to trying to do the same thing as everybody else but better, whereas it's probably better in general to set yourself apart in some way. It doesn't mean you can't learn from other people, but just that, like, we should have our own artistic persona. That includes repertoire you choose, that includes, you know, whether you compose or not, that includes the arrangements you make. Like, you have to set yourself apart, but the conservatory education is just like, learn Ragondi, you know, learn this, learn that. It's like the same stuff, which can be useful for some things, but I think that setting yourself apart is useful no matter what the artistic discipline is, right?
Well, I think when you're starting out in whatever you do, I believe it's a good thing to start copying, observing. I would say observing like the masters in that art.
Yeah, imitating.
Yeah, imitating as close as you can, because you should first, I think, discipline yourself making like a good sound that someone else is making, trying to get as close to that as possible. So then you can like move on and find out your own vision and taste and how you want to be perceived by others. I think that's a better way as of saying from the start, like, I'm going to be different, even though you have hardly any knowledge about history about Yeah, I
just think that too many people get stuck in imitating and trying to do what everyone else has done, but do it slightly better in the classical music world for a long time, you know, to the point where they're like, they have the abilities to set themselves apart, but they are not doing it, you know. Anyways.
Yeah, sure. That's why you need a pedagogue.
Yeah.
Good, who also guides you through that process, right?
Yeah. Or you need the self drive to do something unique. David Doctor says, I remember telling the class, high school friend of Stephen here, and a lot of people said he will never be able to do it, and he did it. Proud of you every day, brother. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, David.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And he's right. Because I was 15. We were all 15, right? And everybody was talking about what they're going to do, and everybody said, "Oh, you're going to be home in 1 week. You won't be able to cook or live or whatever."
Yeah.
But yet here I am.
Yeah, still cooking. Are you able to cook now?
Yes.
Good. I'm just joking. Ioana Ganderber says, hey, all joining late but happy to be here. Hi, Ioana. It's nice to see you here.
Hey.
Yes. Filip, I'm wondering where you studied, actually, because I didn't look too closely at your past experiences. So how did you end up in Germany, and where did you study, and what was your journey with like your developments as an artist up to this point?
My development is outside of the conservatory.
Okay.
I started very early when I was a young kid to play guitar. And when I got around 11 years old, they told me that I have talent, and they put me up to a professor here in Germany, who educated me for a long time. And then I started to work the first time as a teacher when I was 17 years old.
Okay.
That was the first time when I was in a music school active.
Wow. Cool. So it's been like sort of a little bit self-directed in some ways, but you with teachers along the way, but not the conservatory system.
No, not the conservatory system.
Okay, cool. And how did you develop as a composer? Have you studied composition with anyone? Were you developing it yourself alongside your playing? What's the sort of...
In the playing, I had always people who teach me from any kind, from regions. I was also in many master classes to improve my playing on the level which is now today, and I'm playing pretty solid and always practicing even today still, as we all do.
Yeah. You never stop. Yeah.
Every day, you never stop. That's the never-ending process. For the composition, I had one very special person who, when I was young and started to write my first pieces when I was around 11, 12 years old, and I showed it to him, he started to educate me and to give me lessons in composing. That was the music teacher in my high school where I was, and he also studied composition. So he gave me lessons, education, and then after many different stations of different people who have also studied harmonic analysis and everything, I've reached the writing level I have today. Yeah, these people, even I hope they watch. I've sent the link on WhatsApp. I thank them a lot. I have to owe them a lot.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Our teachers we owe our teachers a lot. I mean, they, you know, we get where we are partly because of them, partly because of our own work. But it sounds like you were really driven, it sounds like, to do all this stuff and seek out the people who could help you, you know? Because once you're in school, it kind of just is sort of like it's happening, you know, there's deadlines, blah, blah, blah. But if you're doing it yourself by studying with people, then it really means that you're pushing it forward, your own schedule and your own desire to improve your knowledge. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's a never-ending process, as I've said.
Yeah.
As a composer, especially.
Yeah.
When I imagine the works I've written 15 years ago and compare it today. Today, I treat these old works, which I wrote as a very young guy, as material, which I recompose now.
Yeah.
Because my knowledge got brighter. But that's, I think, the right attempt towards any kind of music.
Yeah.
You need to have. You write for yourself.
For sure.
And for others.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Nice. Well, that's a good background on both of you. I want to show the audience, you sent me some cool videos, Stephen, of time lapses of you working.
Yeah.
I assume there's a lot of guitarists watching because a lot of my audience is guitarists. My joke about this show is that I always talk about how classical guitar need to get outside the guitar world, and then I make a show that only classical guitarists watch. So, so I think for a lot of the audience, it would be really interesting also to see kind of your work in action. So do you want to do the bending sides one first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. There's a lot of extra tech involved in this show, everybody. So be a little bit patient. I'm just going to pull up the bending sides video. Okay. And then put it up in OBS. Nice, it's there. Okay, and share my screen with you, Stephen, so that you can see it and you can explain.
Yeah, so I can comment.
Do you want to talk about it first? Tell people first what it's going to show, and then.
Yeah, sure. So in that time lapse, which took in real time about 1.5 hours, I bent sides for classical guitar in Indian rosewood. So prior of bending them, I thicknessed them to about 1.8 millimeter thick, which is regarded as quite thin compared to like modern standards, I would say. And then I make them completely wet with warm water, so it gets like really dampy and soft.
Okay.
And then I gently bend them towards a bending iron, which is approximately 150 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
So pretty hot.
Yeah,
so
wow.
better be careful not to touch your finger against it, which I've done many times.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, I'll start playing the video and you can talk, explain, and I can pause it if you want, just tell me.
Yeah, I see the video, so I can comment.
Good.
Yeah, so there we go. We start with the waist of the guitar.
Which is the waist?
Actually,
the which part?
The waist is like the middle part of the guitar, right?
Do you see my? Okay, you see my mouse? Yeah, here, right?
The audience sees me as well, still.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, they only see the video, but it's this part where the guitar sits on your leg.
Yeah, exactly. So this part is called the waist, and you start there, basically to have an anchor point from where you start doing the two other big curves.
Okay, so you make the angle at the waist first.
Actually, and it's actually the most difficult, like, bend, because it's quite a steep bend.
Right.
So if you like started, for instance, near the neck and then move up to the waist, the whole wood fiber would move too much, so that your previous curve is not accurate anymore.
Okay, brutal. Okay, so I'll keep playing this. So you're doing you're doing the waist here first. Oh, I see. You're comparing it to the model.
Yeah, and you see that I already have the waist, and then I make the big. Yeah, exactly.
Ah, cool, neat.
Maybe you can actually make it a bit slower.
Actually, that is possible in YouTube playback speed.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'll do 0.5%.
Really quick now.
Okay, 0.5%.
So it's already almost the right shape. So I just cut it off so that it fits in the mold, and now I just leave it there to dry, to sort of set up. I bent the other one, and after I bent the other one, I go back to the first one to adjust it, because it will move a little bit, because the moisture in the wood is going to dry.
So it's just like tuning the guitar. You tune it in tune, and then it goes out of tune a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, yeah, or like if you put new strings on. You have to keep adjusting it until it's right.
It's always funny the first time you teach your student to tune, and then it goes out of tune in 5 minutes, and they're like, "Really, this happens?" And you're like, "This is only the beginning.
This is your life for the rest of your life."
Yeah, exactly. Just wait until you have to do it on stage.
So I cut it off again.
Cool.
Yes, and the upper and lower part, so it fits pretty neatly now, but I still have to adjust it a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're all halfway through. Okay, yeah. So, and then I cut it off a little bit more so it fits even better in the mold, because you want to get it like
perfect.
A good fit.
A good fit. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, because you can fill those in, or no?
Well, so on the bottom end of the guitar, so that's going to be under here, the sides have a little decoration in between the sides.
Oh, yeah,
so
there's
if it's not 100% aligned, you can sort of compensate it with that, but you try to keep your center line as accurate as possible, because it's actually your guideline while building the guitar.
Oh, okay, so it's important, yeah.
And this is quite early in the building process, so if you're going to not have an accurate like center point, it's going to be quite difficult.
Yeah, of course, everything has to depend on that, right?
Yeah, because you're aligning everything to the center line until you glue the bridge.
Okay. Oh, there's the video over there. There's all your Facebook plugs. Okay.
Exactly. So I can just give a brief thing of what the next step would be.
Yeah. I'm just gonna fix the zoom in.
I just bended the video. In the video, I bended both sides, and they're still quite damp and wet at this point. So at this point, the wood is still quite flexible, and it's going to move until a position where it's going to be stiff and solid. Okay. So what I would do normally is at this stage, I just leave it like it is. I bend it as accurately as I can, and then I leave it. And then the next day it would have like sprung back a bit, or I need to adjust something that I might have missed. So I readjust it the next day. Like if you're putting strings on the guitar, you tune it, goes out of tune, you retune it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm having trouble with Zoom because it's being ridiculous. Oh, there, if I stop sharing, then I can. Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
Right?
We're back now. Sorry about that.
Great. Great.
Oh, Taiwo Adagoke says, "Hi, man. Good evening from Nigeria, West Africa. This is so beautiful." Hi, Taiwo. And everybody, Taiwo is going to be on the show in a while, so look forward to that.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Greetings to my fellow people.
Yeah, exactly.
Friends.
Yes.
Greetings to you, Taiwo.
Yes. Composer guitarists unite, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. It's going to be a lot of fun having him on, actually. Okay, so just a couple things to get out of the way about our appearances. First of all, Karina Montenegro says, "Steven, tell us about the curly hair care routine." So, how do you take care of your hair?
So we have like a daily ritual.
Okay.
So no, I mean just
this could go any direction.
Yeah, so I hardly use any product to keep it sort of healthy. I find that if after we're talking about my hair right now. Okay.
You didn't have to take it seriously, but you did, so
Well, how do I always end up here? Because in guitar festivals, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, it's because people care more about your appearance than your artistic output,
Oh. No, I mean when I dry. Okay.
Oh, Ross Chiasson, who made my guitar. Do you know Ross, Steven?
No.
Ross
Who's
Chiasson. Ross Chiasson made my guitar. He's a Canadian luthier. He says it's naturally straight. You just bend it on the iron every morning, right?
like the sides or my hair?
Your hair, he means.
Yeah, exactly. I have like these whole curly head machines.
Yeah. The other appearance thing I have to get out of the way is that I got a message from Elka Prince here telling me I'm underdressed. Thanks, Elka.
Yeah, she's quite straightforward.
Yeah, she's gonna come on the show, and she's coming on the show next week. So I'm a little worried about what she's gonna say on the show.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
I thought this was
What
like,
a lovely comment to make on your host.
but this is it's a turtleneck. This is acceptably like dressed up, right? I don't know, for a casual street.
Well, and you have a beard, so I mean
Yeah.
you win.
Exactly.
You know.
I mean, at least I'm wearing the turtleneck. I'm wearing shorts also, but nobody can see that. I mean.
Well, don't tell us about the shorts then.
Okay. Well, I just did. Too bad. Awesome. Well, that was very illuminating, Stephen, to find out about how side bending works. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. We're gonna play a game. You guys ready to play a game?
What kind of game?
Sure.
We're going to play a repertoire guessing game. You ready, Filip? This is your moment to shine.
Oh my god.
Are you familiar with guitar repertoire?
Yeah. No, I don't play actually guitar.
Okay, we're gonna do that, and I'm also going to intersperse it with how's the wine, Stephen? I'm gonna intersperse it with images that I'm gonna show and send to Stephen of guitars, and he's gonna have to identify the maker, etc.
Oh god.
But right before we play this game, since I've teased everybody, I didn't remember until now that Zoom has a time limit for meetings with more than 2 people. So I'm going to quickly kick Stephen and Filip out and then re-invite them. It'll take 1 minute, and I'll entertain you guys in the meantime, and then we'll get on to the game. So I'm just going to send you guys another meeting invite in 1 second. So everyone, quickly while I'm doing this, you can check out in the description links to both Stephen and Filip's channels, everything they're doing, and also there are links to support the show, and if you make a donation during the show, it can go to the artists, so that's greatly appreciated for them as well. Okay, they're going to be back in this meeting in 1 second, since Zoom is silly. And if you have questions for Stephen and Filip, please put them in the chat. We'd love to answer your questions on the show here. Okay, they are joining. Okay, we're back.
Hi.
Good. Excellent. We
Hello again.
are back. Hide self view. Excellent. Okay. All right, I just got to pull up Zoom in here. There we go.
Yeah.
We are back.
We're
okay.
back online, right?
Let's play this game.
Yeah, so who is first?
Filip is first. I'm going to play some tracks. So people who watch the show might know this already, but the way this works is I play the piece, and then Filip, or actually Stephen, if you want to help him, you can, if you know the piece or you know the performer. You can guess the piece, the composer, or the performer. Okay? So
It's more likely that Filip will know than I. So.
yeah, but you can help him. You're a team today. And then we'll do the guitars afterwards. Hi Kamethiason says, haha, usually only women guitarists have to talk about their hair and clothes. Well, this is 2020. We're, aiming for egalitarianism, so I think we should talk about them just as much.
Oh god.
I think everyone should constantly ask Stephen about his hair. I think that's the
but not how to talk about this fabulous curly hair.
Yeah.
Or not?
How can you
and
not?
we didn't even talk about like the shoe collection.
The shoe collection,
the
no.
jacket collection.
Yeah, I have some nice shoes as well. Maybe we can compare shoes on the next stream, Stephen. Next time you come on.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. It's a great challenge.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, we're gonna play this repertoire guessing game, and the audience feel free to help. But Filip, maybe don't look at the comments so you're not cheating.
Oh.
And but you do get one lifeline, so you can ask the audience for help for one piece. Okay, if you're really stuck.
Okay.
Okay, so piece number 1. I just have to share my audio with you so that you can hear it. So many things to do. Technology is almost like technology is complicated, Okay, piece number 1. Piece, composer, player. And I'll give you hints, don't worry. Okay, I'll play a later section also so that you can hear, like, you know, more of the piece. Oh, wait, no, where is it? Any idea?
Classical epoch.
Classical epoch, yes, indeed.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Composer?
I'm not sure if Giuliani or Aguado.
Both are wrong, actually, but I'll let you try
Both
again.
okay.
I'll play another section.
Okay.
Where's this section that will give it away? I think this section. Wait. Wait a second.
I might know.
Do you know, Steven?
I know the P.
Is it Fernando Sor?
Yes,
Grand
it's
Solo?
Fernando Sor, Grand Solo. Very good. And Ioana in the chat has it. So far, Steven has 2 points. No, it's not a competition. You're working together. Who's the player, though? Do you know the player, Filip? This is a very, very famous player from history, not alive today.
From history.
Yes.
From
Oh,
history.
Ioana, it's not that player. But you got the piece and the composer, so.
Okay, the audio I can hear over Zoom. I don't know, but it sounds a bit older.
Yes,
Could it
it's
be,
much older.
Yeah, could it be a performer around who recorded it in the 70s, 60s?
I think it would have been before this, actually. Probably.
Even before?
Or, no, it could. Well, the record could be from that time, but this player was definitely around doing stuff before. Let me check. Maybe I can see the... it doesn't say the date of the record. But it could have been recorded in the 60s or 70s, yeah. But it is a much older recording.
It's much older recording, okay.
Sorry, Heike, you got it wrong. But Luis Costello has the player right. It's a really, really, really well-known player. It's a very important player. Do you want to hear some more? Just to hear some...
Yeah.
I mean, you can start guessing. I'll give you a couple guesses.
Okay, in that time, who recorded it already? Segovia recorded.
Segovia, yes, it's Segovia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I thought it all the time, because Segovia was one of the few who was actually recording so much.
Yeah.
In big pieces at that time.
Yeah, for sure.
It was the most possible thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And it is a very Segovia performance also. Okay, nice. So you guys got 3 out of 3 on that one. That was an easy one, for sure. 3 out of 3, very good. Okay, next one, second one. Oh, somehow this didn't end up on my list here, but I know where to find it exactly. Okay, number 2. Oh, 1 second. Here we go. Ready? Maybe a later section also. Any idea?
As it sounds, it must be more in modern times. 20th century.
Yes. Oh, a bunch of people in the chat got it. Nice. Lawrence.
Is it how's it called again? Is it
It is a more modern piece, yes.
Bellinati?
No. Oh yeah, Bellinati. Yes, Bellinati, the composer.
Bellinati?
Bellinati.
Okay.
Paolo Bellinati. Another guitarist composer. This is why I thought of it. And do you know the piece? Either of you?
No, the name not. But both pieces you've shown, I've listened to.
Yeah. But the name is escaping you. Yeah.
The name is escaping me all the time, but I'm always right on the epochs.
Yes,
always have in mind, like around where it is, where it is, and
Okay, I'll give you half a point for the epoch.
Yes.
But the piece is Django.
Django.
Yeah, and it's played by a very famous American guitarist. Won the GFA.
Well, there's so many. Yeah.
No,
And
there's not that many Americans that have won. Sorry, Americans.
Oh.
Oh no, it's just true. It's a fact. I mean, there are some very good American players who've won it, but there aren't a lot of them. That's all.
Do you mean with American players people who immigrated to America and work there now? Or do you mean people who are living the whole life?
I believe he lived his whole life in America, but I would count both as American citizens. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But but in this case, yes, it's good. You're narrowing down the options this way. It's someone who grew up, as far as I know, is born and grew up there.
I got nothing.
You don't even know this, Steven? You need to study up on your GFA winners.
Yeah, well,
Right.
you know.
Did Dennis Azabagic won the GFA?
Yes, but he's not American. I mean,
He is working and living in America.
yeah,
as
but
far as I know.
he didn't grow up in America.
Yeah, true though.
Yeah,
True though.
but this guy won the GFA a long time ago, actually. This player, what I would consider a long time ago, not like super long ago, but. Do you give up?
No, we give up. Yes.
It's
I
Jason Vio.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Good guess. It's not Martha Masters, but she's great.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that was Io.
One of the only females who won.
Yeah, Martha's amazing. I saw her masterclass on Bach in Spokane. It was incredible.
Oh, great.
And she does such a good job running the GFA too. Like that's a big job, you know.
Of course.
Okay, so you guys got 1 out of 3 for Paolo Bellinati. Okay, next one. Oh, I'm on the wrong playlist. Here we go. Oh, no, that's this playlist. Sorry, guys. Here we go.
Ah. I know. Yeah. Sabrina recorded this.
Yeah.
Oh, how was it called?
Any idea? I'll play a later section.
Is this actually her recording?
No, it's not Sabrina. Ah, Elka's got it. Elka plays this too, and so do I.
That's also why I know. She played it in a concert.
Yes. And Elka got the player. Wow, very good. Elka, the thing is, you're getting these right, and I'm going to have to make the test harder when you come on next week. Every time artists who are coming on in the future answer the piece well, it's like, you know.
Yeah, when you enter this live stream with you think, I've played so much in my life, I will guess that easy.
Yeah.
And then suddenly when it happens, everything breaks down.
Elka says she's going to play this next week. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Good one. Greetings to Elka.
I also have a recording of this piece. I recorded this piece at Manuel de Falla's house in Granada, actually.
You did?
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube. I went to the House Museum of Manuel de Falla, and I asked the guy there, and he was very nice, and he said you can record in the courtyard for an hour. It was really nice of him.
Was it with that fantastic view?
It has a good view, but I mean, the fantastic view is of me. Let's be honest. Okay. But
Wait.
Okay. Anyways, sorry. I think I gave away the piece by explaining that story. But do you guys know the piece?
Is it?
Steven, it's up to you. Again, I know the melody, but
Do you know the player at least, Filip? Maybe.
Yeah.
That's the start of the piece. It's the start of the
Homenea.
Homenage.
Yeah.
Or
I pronounced
homage.
it.
Homage to, who's it an homage to? You have to get that. Come on. Which composer is this an homage to, and who wrote it?
That's Philippe for you. Homage.
Homage to a French composer, an important
Well,
French.
it's definitely like modern. So.
kind of could be also late romantic. Didn't heard enough sections of it.
It's actually right, like at the beginning of the modern period, at the end of the romantic period. So
Yeah. Again, you know. So.
Or I would say maybe it's technically after the romantic period is over. I guess technically, but it's
Okay. Which year?
I think it's 1918. It would have been written 1919, something like this.
Does he refer to his homage on a composer who lived in that time?
Who died at that time?
Who died at that time?
Yeah.
Satie died at that time. Debussy died at that time.
Yes.
Is a reference to the big composers.
It's a
one of the greats.
homage to Debussy.
Homage to Debussy.
Yes.
Okay.
Because Debussy died, and this composer was friends with Debussy. Spanish composer who was friends with Debussy is
Spanish.
who studied in
Spanish?
who studied in Paris. What was from Spain?
I totally missed that segue. Sorry.
Okay, I'm just gonna. It's Manuel de Falla.
Manuel de Falla. Yeah.
Yeah. In 1918 he died. That's right, Heike. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Cool. Nice. Next one. So you guys got. I guess you only got. Or you didn't get the player yet. Who's the player? Listen to a tiny bit more.
I only know the recording from Sabrina, so I don't know who else recorded.
But if you hear the
But it sounds like an older recording again.
Yes, it is an older recording again.
When it's Segovia again, I need to laugh.
It's not Segovia. I don't repeat players.
It's not. Okay.
Yeah. English
Could it
player.
be Julian Bream.
Julian Bream. Correct. Okay, so you guys get 2 points for getting like the epoch and the homage word, and Julian Bream. Okay, next one.
A later section.
Later section, sure. Any idea?
Sounds a bit. The later section you've played sounds a bit baroque.
Yes, it is. It is Baroque music.
Yes.
German Baroque composer.
There are so many. Telemann, Bach.
Telemann.
Händel.
First one was Telemann. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I wouldn't have suggested that it's Händel. Händel is far more dramatic, mostly in his compositorical language. Far more dramatic, and he didn't left many lute pieces, I guess.
Yeah,
we
but
don't play that
this
much
is not a
from
lute
him.
piece. This is not a lute piece.
It's not a lute piece. What is
This
actually
is-
made for?
This is a violin piece.
A violin.
Yes.
A violin and piano, or
No, actually.
for solo violin?
Yes,
Okay.
for solo violin.
Interesting.
What type of piece is it?
Therefore, I need to hear the whole structure. Could be a sonata, could be this, could be that, could be everything.
Okay,
Could be
I'll
anything.
just tell you, it's a fantasia.
A fantasia, yeah.
Okay, and the player is a famous American player who has a very famous technique book.
A very famous technique book.
Yeah.
Is it Scott Tennant?
Yes, Scott Tennant plays Telemann. Okay.
Yeah, the warm sound. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you
Can hear it really.
2 out of 3.
Nylon! Oh, sorry.
Okay, next one. You ready?
Okay.
Book is called Pumping Nylon, right?
Yes, Pumping Nylon. I feel like I'm throwing softballs for you guys. These are not that hard, really.
This one I know. This one I know. This one I know. No, that's...
Later section.
Bum, bum, bum.
Wait. Yes, Ioana's got it already.
I know that.
Russian composer.
Nikita Koshkin.
Nikita Koshkin, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I know. Is this the Asha Waltz?
Yes, the Usher
No, no, no.
Waltz. Yes,
Yeah.
Usher Waltz.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Heike, I know I'm being very easy on them. She's saying easy, easy. It's true. I have
Telemann
to,
isn't that easy to guess.
Telemann was not that easy. Telemann was not that easy. Usher Waltz Koshkin, yes. And the player is I don't know why I picked so many, but an American player again. And this is on a recording. This is on a recording, Stephen, that has 18 different guitars on 18 different tracks.
Oh.
Have you heard of this CD?
No.
I'm giving you homework, Stephen.
Well, you should like send me stuff. You know?
Yeah, I guess I should. Yeah. Any guess as to the player, or should I just give it away? Does anyone in the chat know? I'm curious.
Yeah, let's wait for the chat.
Well, there's always a delay. It's the teacher teaches in San Francisco.
Well, that doesn't help.
I mean, San Francisco is one of the more popular programs in America. So, if you knew American guitar, then it would help.
Well, you know.
It's Mark Teicholz.
Oh.
He was one of the very early GFA winners. He won in the 80s, I think. But this CD is called Valsayana, and it's from I think it's from Guitar Salon International, and it's him playing 18 classic waltzes on 18 vintage guitars, like very old guitars. Many of them from like
only spruce tops, only
Like on Hausers and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, like stuff from the middle of the 20th century, early 20th century, that kind of thing. There may even be some 19th century ones. I'm not sure.
Ooh.
Yeah, but you should really look this. You should look
look it up.
Yeah, and it's cool because it's 18 waltzes, and they're all great waltzes, and he's an amazing musician, so it's really cool.
Right.
Yeah, you should really look it up. Everyone should look it up. Okay, so 2 out of 3 for that one. Last 2, you ready?
Okay, let's go.
Next one. Any idea? This is a tricky one. Oh, Heike says, wow, interesting program. Yeah, Heike, this CD is really special to me too because I actually got accepted in San Francisco to study with Mark, but I didn't go because the tuition was so ridiculously expensive because America. So I went instead to Vancouver and then to Maastricht with Carlo. So because, I mean, well, I also love the programs I went to, but it just was too much.
So because you were denied like a proper student loan, you end up in Utrecht.
Well, I could have taken a student loan, but it would have been the tuition is $40,000 a year in San Francisco.
Oh.
Yeah.
Holy.
I was offered a big scholarship, but it was only like half or something. So anyways, but it's really too bad because I love Mark. He's really amazing. If I'd gotten a full ride, I would have easily gone because he's like one of the best teachers I've ever met. He's just incredible. But that CD also I discovered when I was like pretty new to guitar, and hearing those 18 different guitars next to each other, played by an amazing musician, and hearing just like the different things he got out of each guitar was like super formative for me, you know, to hear that.
When was it recorded?
Where or when?
No, when?
It must have been like 2015, 2014, something like that.
Oh, so quite recent. Okay.
Yeah, pretty recent. I don't think it's that old.
Cool.
There's also some videos of him playing like live concerts on them. It's really cool. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask, because if there might be some videos where you actually see the guitar, it would also be interesting.
Yeah. I'll send you some links. But yeah, if someone finds them, if you search Mark Teicholz YouTube, Guitar Salon International, if people find them in YouTube, they can put them in the comments also for people to find.
Great one.
It would be cool. Yeah.
Do that.
Okay, but back to the piece. Do you know, Filip, what this piece is?
I know the theme.
Yes.
But I can't. But I can't figure out any.
Typical composer knows all the melodies but doesn't know what they're called.
Can we hear a little bit more, maybe?
Yeah, but maybe. Yeah.
This is also special to me because I played this in some competitions, actually.
Is it Giuliani?
It's not Giuliani. Oh, Joanna is guessing it's not Cost, it's not Legnani, but you're in the right region. Cost Legnani is closer than Giuliani.
Aguado?
No, not Aguado. Later than that.
No? Later than that?
by a bit.
Do you repeat also composers?
No.
No. Okay.
So, you're asking all the smart questions. You're just like narrowing it down, you know. You know,
that's the game.
Yeah. You can ask for help also, but you have one more piece after this too. So maybe you want to save your lifeline for the last piece. I don't know.
It's definitely something around the time.
It's not Regondi, Heike. Everybody is guessing all the composers except for the one it is.
Regondi, it isn't. No.
No, but it's the right region. Costagnani, Regondi. This, you know.
Is it a Spanish composer?
No.
But from Italy.
No,
you said.
Not Italy.
No, not Italy.
No, I meant by region. I meant like the epoch, not the.
Oh.
Sorry. Sorry. Whew. Not Regondi, and not specifically just Italy, but that time period.
Okay, Regondi was romantic, but could it be?
Joanna got it. Joanna got it. Okay, tell us. Merz.
Johann Kaspar Merz. Ah!
Yeah. I was gonna say Hungarian, but it would have been too much of a giveaway to say Hungarian, I think.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Also, Jethro, my friend and student Jethro says Kenton. Jethro Bressard actually said Kenton Youngstrom played 2 CDs with 55 different pieces on guitars from about the same number of famous builders. Cool. Can you put a link from Jethro? If you find this link on Spotify, you can put it in the
chat.
Yeah,
give us a link.
I'd be really interested to hear that also.
Me too.
Anyhow, okay, so it's Merz and it's from the Bardenklange. It's an etude from the Bardenklange. I played this in some competitions. It's short and it's really cool and it's virtuosic and nobody plays it, so it's really cool.
Yeah, Merz is a fabulous composer. He was.
And
I played Tarantella.
The Tarantella is great, and it's Adam Holzman. Yeah. Adam Holzman playing the Merz here. Adam Holzman has a recording of a bunch of like underplayed Merz stuff. It's kind of cool. Okay, last piece, and you have your lifeline, so you can just ask the audience for help on this one.
Okay, great.
But you can still guess, you know, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll play a later section. And everyone in the audience, help them out, because Filip hasn't used his lifeline yet, so. Ioana got the composer for you. Yes, Ioana, it's Tedesco. Oh, and Jethro said it's part of a famous luthier book, and he put a link to Amazon. Okay, cool. So it's not on Spotify, but you can buy this luthier book and get the CD.
Is it Orfeo book?
Collection Spanish Guitars Torres to the Present is the book.
Okay.
Tedesco is the composer.
Tedesco is the composer, yes. Now the piece. You don't have to name the exact name, but you should name at least what type of piece in the collection it's from, maybe. Ioana got it for you guys. She said it's Capriccios Zoran Dukic playing.
Capriccio and Zoran Dukic.
Do you know
Capriccio Diabolico?
No, the Capriccios de Goya. Do you know about these pieces, Filip?
No.
No,
I didn't play them yet.
Oh, okay, but you know about them, the Capriccios de Goya. Yeah. So it's the 24th of the Capriccios de Goya.
Yeah.
Played by Zoran Dukic.
24th.
Yeah.
Very exotic choice.
Yeah. I didn't want to do 18 or 12. You know, the ones that everybody plays. Yeah.
I would have admired if you have chosen the Capriccio Diabolico. I love it.
Yeah. Well, we're
one of the greatest pieces.
We're gonna listen to your Sonata Diabolico later. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the end, I think partly due to my niceness in choosing easy pieces, but also due to your brains together, you got out of there's 7 pieces, 7 times 3, 21. Out of 21, you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 out of 21. Not bad.
Oh, okay.
More than half. Very good.
I feel like a winner.
Yes, you are a winner, Steven. Okay, now we're gonna do Steven's side of this.
Yeah, so I will no longer feel like a winner.
Exactly. That's the theory. Yes.
So should I get my phone and check?
Yes, I'm gonna send you some pictures and also simultaneously share them on the stream because you don't see.
Till you guys send the pictures, I'm just going shortly to my kitchen getting.
Yeah. You don't.
water.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's all good. Okay.
So let me get my phone.
Yes, and I will pull up the pictures here.
In WhatsApp, right?
Yes, I'm gonna send to you on WhatsApp. The first of these guitars, and I'm going to show them to the audience too. So first I will show you the guitar, and then I will show you the bracing afterwards. Okay?
Oh God! Oh, really?
Okay, so here's the guitar, and then I will share it on the stream. There's the guitar for everyone to see. It's like in front of my face.
Oh, come on.
Do you know what this is?
Antonio de Torres.
Okay, easy.
Let me get the year, because I've actually observed this guitar very closely.
Okay.
So I believe this is 1888.
Correct, 1888. Oh.
And it has a name. It's called La Italica.
La Italica. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Cool. Also, Ioanna's saying, I have a feeling I'll not do well on this one. The joke is because she's a blind guitarist. So,
Oh.
True story, Ioanna.
Well, maybe if you like describe.
Yeah, it's got this. Well, can you?
The decoration. Okay, so the headstock has 3 arches.
Yeah, what is the deal? So, can you tell people a little bit about the Taurus? Like, what makes this unique, and why is it important? Oh, and Jethro's saying second epoch. Is that true?
Yeah, second epoch, definitely. It's
Okay.
at the end of his life. It's.
So, give us a little lecture on the Taurus, the 1888 Taurus.
Yeah, so this guitar, he built it 4 years before he died. He died in 1892.
Okay.
So this guitar, so this is the bigger model,
Yeah.
right? So this is basically the platform for every luthier that came afterwards, because he really transitioned the romantic small body guitar to a bigger concert guitar, which is why Tadega picked him as his luthier, right?
Right. Okay.
So
More power,
I mean,
basically.
Yeah, not just power, but also a greater dynamic, because the older guitars were built quite like big. They were small, but they were built really thick and heavy. The bracing was quite primitive. It wasn't yet found out what would be optimal for this type of sound.
Yeah.
And he really revolutionized, because he brought, like, the bracing pattern was not his.
Yeah.
But he like took that, then made his body like 30% bigger, made the top thinner, and made the depth of the body wider as well. So like the part here, romantic guitars are quite slim. If you see Viennese instruments, for instance, or La Cote from France,
Yeah.
La Cote, sorry, pronouncing it, they were quite slim. So he made it bigger,
Cool.
giving a wider dynamic. I mean, the significance of this luthier is still underrated, I would say.
Really? I mean, I know of the name, and I'm like totally like not educated at all on.
Yeah, but still, I mean, every luthier today, I would say, has incorporated some kind of element of what he did, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I pulled up the bracing here. I just sent that to you too. Can you tell people about this bracing?
Yeah.
I hope I got it right.
Are you sure this is the bracing of this very guitar, Mike?
It's not the bracing of this very guitar. I just searched Torres bracing because I'm a scrub.
Because what do we see here? So is everybody seeing this picture?
Yeah, it's on the screen.
Okay, so this is, in my understanding, this is Madrid style bracing.
Okay.
And why is that? So I see so we have 7 fan braces, right? So everybody knows the fans are the braces that are under the lower belt, so under the bridge. And those are, if you put your hand up like this,
Yeah, it's a fan.
those are
yeah.
the fans, right? They're following your fingers. Okay, so that's like the most traditional kind of bracing style you can find.
Yes. Yeah.
But this is interesting because there are a few elements that I'm quite sure that Torres never used in his lifetime.
Cool.
So you see the bracing that's just under the sound hole. It's curved.
Yes.
To my knowledge, he never did that. He always made it like perpendicular to the center line.
Oh, okay. So this might be a wrong picture then, maybe.
I believe this is from the Madrid school of guitar. I actually have a hunch that this is Ramirez 2.
Oh, okay. Huh, weird.
Yeah, and also the highest bracing you see, so there are like 3 horizontal bracings, 2 of them above the sound hole. So the highest one, he never did that.
Okay. Interesting.
And there's also a patch just between those 2 braces, and to my knowledge, he never did that as well. But the rest is quite accurate.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just googled Torres bracing in because, like I said, I'm totally uneducated on this.
Sorry.
It's all good. Okay, well, our Zoom meeting is going to end again, so we're actually going to listen to one of Filip's pieces, but we'll come back to the guitar guessing right after. Just
Are you going to kick us?
Well, I'll do it as soon as the piece is playing so that the audience doesn't have to sit through me inviting you to the meeting again. But we're going to listen to your Sonata Diabolico because we were just talking about Tedesco.
Yeah.
Right? Is it actually like sort of related to the Tedesco Capriccio Diabolico?
No, it was more when I found the team. It wasn't really related to the Capriccio Diabolico from the stylistic. It was like, okay, I had this team. It sounded evil, and it is fast.
Okay.
and my conclusion was, okay, let's call it diabolic because it sounds really diabolic.
Right. Okay. So it wasn't. It wasn't an intentional homage.
No. I homaged also some mixed some kind of Bach techniques with Balkanic folklore, and then I have a homage to Bach, but to Tedesco I didn't homage yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so this sonata is Sonata Diabolico. Is it just one movement through?
It's one movement through. It's one single sonata, in normal sonata main form.
Cool. Do you want to say anything else about it before I play it?
Just enjoy it, and
I'm sure people
and that's
will.
it. I hope.
That's it.
Okay.
I'm just going to play it here. Pull it up. One moment. There we go. Yes, good. We have it playing. Okay, you guys are so mature.
Hello again.
Hello.
Anyone who noticed anything strange is because while the video is playing, my messages pop up, and both Steven and Filip thought it would be hilarious to keep sending great little stickers of bunnies and creatures while the video is playing, and then laughing in the background of the video playing.
Yeah, well.
You take Steven's composition very seriously, clearly. I mean, Filip's composition.
He is allowed.
Yes.
It's allowed to make jokes.
It's
At least
allowed.
It's allowed.
It's allowed. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't take it for granted. It's okay.
But who was laughing the whole time? It's like the most serious climax of the piece, and all I hear is giggling.
Well,
Yeah, okay.
I believe
He started with that. It's
Well,
typical. We both do that all the time.
Well,
Trolling.
so people always tell me that I have quite a loud laugh.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
So it's actually quite difficult to keep it in, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I did well, I think.
I would say so. Oh my goodness. Also, relevant to the Taurus discussion, Heike Mathiasen says she's seen and played some Taurus. It's magic. I never have. But Jethro Broussard has a question for you, Steven.
I see. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to answer this? I think everyone can see it. Since you've been living in all three countries, how different is classical guitar culture in the Netherlands versus Belgium versus Germany?
Well, I mean, to be honest, when I moved from the Netherlands to Belgium, I haven't started my studies, so I have no idea about the Dutch culture. This year I was a proud participant of the Dutch Guitar Foundation.
Cool.
And that's the first festival I attended in the Netherlands. And I visited the conservatory in Amsterdam. But besides that, I wouldn't know. Belgium, my teachers weren't exactly active in the scene, so to speak. They were more busy with, other things, I suppose. Yeah. So my introduction is in the German scene. I would say that the German scene is very well established.
Yeah.
And maybe if I would I mean, I don't have stuff to compare, right? But I think the German scene is the biggest, also because it's the biggest country and has the most conservatories and whatever.
Yeah, it has the most students also and the most potential buyers. I mean,
most festivals, big festivals like Koblenz, Iserlohn. Yeah.
Makes sense.
But it is a good question, though. I believe Elke is more qualified, so to speak, to answer this question next week, because she has actually been sort of professional, I suppose, in all three countries.
Right.
So.
Okay, so we will ask Elke.
Giving you heads up there, Elke.
She already knows one of her questions for next week.
Yes, so she can prepare.
Yes, exactly. Unlike you guys.
Exactly.
Okay. to go back to the guitar sharing. So we did the Torres.
Oh yeah. So I'm watching WhatsApp again now.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me.
I'm going to send you another photo. Let's do this one. Sending, and then I will share it with the stream. This photo. What is this?
Oh, that's interesting. Is it Fleta?
Yes, Fleta. Very good. You're good at this. Do you want to?
Well, it's really easy because he has this quite obvious different body shape. It's really round. It's really big.
Yeah. Yeah, the top is actually quite wide, like the upper part.
Yeah, it's enormous.
Yeah. Why though?
I've seen two Fletas in real life, and they're gigantic compared to mine. You know. But it's part of an era. So Fleta was building, I believe, 60s, 70s, 80s, somewhere around that. Okay.
But why so big? The body, like, is it just for sound or?
Well, there's a different discussion about that, and I believe it's part of an epoch. So in like the late 70s, 80s, guitars started to become larger and larger. I talked to Dale Kavanagh about this actually, about her first guitars in Canada were huge, like I believe she told me it was 66 and a half skill
Wow.
length, which is huge, you know.
Yeah.
And well, she doesn't have particularly big hands, so. But she told me that it was probably good for her because she had to learn how to do those stretches, right?
Yeah, yeah, no kidding. I also sent you the bracing, which I found on Google, if it's correct.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to talk about this to people because they're seeing it now too?
Yeah. So I cannot read the text, but I believe the guitar in question is the left bracing
Yes.
in the picture. Yeah. So I mean, he has started experimenting with adding more fan braces. So in the previous picture, we talked about the 7 fan brace under the bridge. That was Torres, his sort of contribution. And Fleta in this picture shows 9, which is really a lot.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And he has this rather interesting side, sort of there are 2 bars under the sound hole, which is quite uncommon nowadays. It's also part of this era.
Okay.
I believe he did that to make the top stiffer because he's quite known for building big, powerful guitars, single top guitars.
Right.
And so I think he needed those extra bracings to sort of compensate for
the size,
like the sizes.
Because the bigger the top is, the more easy it would be for it to snap or something.
Well, also yeah, but you can view it in different ways actually, because if the surface is bigger, there's more area for the strength to even out.
Right.
So if you have like a mandolin, which is super small, the top, there's a lot of pressure on the top, but also different kinds of strings and whatever, but just as an example. But with this Fleta, I believe the skill length was also larger. So the larger the skill length, the higher the tension on the strings and the more strength on the bridge.
Right.
That's also why you see this bridge patch. So if you look closely on the picture, you see this larger sort of cigar shape almost thing where the bridge normally is glued.
Okay.
Now, we also saw that on the picture you sent me of the Torres, but I believe that was Hermann Hauser who really introduced that kinds of...
Okay. Cool.
But also some Spanish makers. Anyway, so he also added that patch to give the bridge more volume, to give it more mass, to get it going.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. I'm going to send it to you, and then I will pull down the Fleta and put this up on the stream.
I mean, you should have cut off the head.
It's too easy, yeah.
It's Ramirez.
Ramirez, yeah. Nice.
And
do you know which one?
Well, it's definitely not Manuel Ramirez. So Manuel Ramirez is the first one, and then you have Jose Ramirez 1, Jose Ramirez 2, and on and on.
And
or like Zizek would say, and on and on and on.
And on and on.
And so on.
Yeah, and so on and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I think this is Jose Ramirez 3.
Okay, I don't actually have that written down, so I'm going to take your word for it.
Why? I will give you a reason why.
Why?
So, this guitar is rather orange.
Yes, I did notice
and
that.
I love orange.
Yes. Well, you're Dutch, so...
Nederland, yeah. So, I believe, if I have this correctly, that Jose Ramirez 3 started to spray paint his instruments, also with this sort of orange color. So, many of the later Ramirez guitars, even the high-end expensive ones, are not French polish. They're celluloid lacquer.
Is that een goed idee?
Nee.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I was like, this seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
but,
I'm going to send you the bracing so you can talk about it. This is a free lecture from Steven, you know?
Well, who says it's free?
Yes. Everybody, you have to donate.
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay, here's the bracing, apparently, according to Google.
Well, so...
Sorry, Filip,
I mean,
it's covering your face. Sorry.
So these two this picture you sent me has 2 bracing patterns which are completely different.
Yeah.
And also the body shape is rather different. So I believe we are going to look at the left one because the right one, I don't think it's. Well, I'm not familiar with that type.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jose Ramirez 2, I believe,
Yes.
started using cedar in the 60s for guitar tops.
Okay.
And
Was
he was
that
really
new?
the first one. Sorry?
That was new.
This is the, yeah, that's the segue. So in the 60s, the story goes like this, if you're into the story. So Ramirez used spruce, like everybody else, for the
Yes.
tops.
Yeah.
Only spruce. So he sent an apprentice to the local wood yard to go and get some cedar for the necks. Because we have cedar for neck, which is a different kinds of cedar than for the top.
Okay.
So this apprentice was quite new apparently, so he bought the wrong cedar.
Okay.
He brought it back, and then Jose Ramirez saw it and saw that it was beautifully cut and figured that he might just use it for a top, I suppose. And that's when this whole era of cedar tops started. I believe in 1962, something like that.
Interesting.
And then everybody started using cedar for tops. And then he introduced this asymmetrical bracing you see in this picture, to come back to the picture you sent me.
Mm-hmm.
So you see there are fan braces still in this design, but they are not the same on either side. So we see in the treble side there are only 2 and 3 in the bass.
Yeah.
And I believe that I read in some of the biographies that he did that because he believed that the strength on the bass side of the guitar top was more. So he compensated that with adding more bracings on the bass side of the guitar top.
Interesting.
Which, if you say it like that, makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
And then he also added this like cross
Yeah.
sort of bracing.
I was
right?
noticing that.
Yeah, so we see still the 2 beautifully perpendicular harmonic bracings, they're called. They're above and under the sound hole, those 2.
Mm-hmm.
So those are pretty standard. And then he added this third one, which is really interesting. I believe that also, I visited the Ramirez Museum in Madrid.
Yeah.
And I saw some of the pictures on the wall. I believe I saw this one there as well. And he did that because he figured that the amplitude of the string, if I say it correctly, the frequency is lower in the bass strings. So it actually takes longer for the vibration to move through the wood.
Huh.
So that's why I believe, if I'm correct, hopefully no other luthiers are watching.
It's on the internet forever, so, you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I believe he...
No pressure.
Yeah, well... I'm not saying that this is correct. I just...
I'm not saying that I'm right. This is my opinion.
No, I'm just trying to get in the head of why he might have done this, right?
Yeah. No,
I don't do this, but...
Yeah.
So I believe he did this because he felt that the treble side had shorter frequency vibrations, so that he made the era of the top shorter at that point because of this side brace, and at the bass side he made it larger for the wood to move more.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I believe that I read that in one of the Orfeo books, so...
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wunderbar. Okay, next one. Let's try and move through these quickly because I want to ask Filip some...
I hope it's not too boring.
No. Not that it's not too boring, but I want to ask Filip some hilarious would you rather performance questions. Okay, wait, where is this?
Well, I see this as a performance as well, Michael.
Yes, indeed, you're right. You are also special, Stephen.
You don't have to tell me that.
Okay, the next one should be in your inbox, and I'm pulling it up.
Ah.
What is this one?
This is getting a bit more tricky,
Mm-hmm.
but I believe this is. Let me just check the rosette. Is it Domingo Esteso?
No.
Oh.
This was a suggestion from not Skull Heike. This is a suggestion from Jethro, actually, I believe.
So this is a flamenco guitar, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
It actually has pegs, so...
Yeah.
So this is the start of the 20th century era.
Let me check my notes here. Yes, started 20th century, correct.
Yeah. So, and I, it is. I think it's from the Madrid school.
Uh,
S-
I don't
So we have
know
like
enough.
Barcelona,
I
Granada, and
don't know
Madrid.
enough to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Santos Hernandez?
Yes, Santos Hernandez. Very good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's Santos Hernandez was a student of Manuel Ramirez.
Okay, okay, cool.
And that's why it's the Madrid school, because Manuel Ramirez was based in Madrid.
Nice. I'm gonna send you the bracing then and share it with people.
Yeah.
Very good. Second guess. Okay, the bracing looks like this. There's so many things to pull up on OBS. I'm sorry. Everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So this is more the. Okay, so I'll make a little segue if that's okay.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
make it short.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Antonio Torres, his era, you had a Blanca and a Negra classical guitar. So there were a lot of guitars with cypress backs, which everybody now says, okay, that's flamenco. But in those eras, it wasn't considered to be just for flamenco, because flamenco was just starting up and all guitars were used. So Santos Hernandez, among others, started to build specifically for the flamenco era, because this is becoming more sort of centered in Spain in start of 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
So flamenco players like to have less sustain but more attack.
Yeah.
At least that's the theory. Of course, there are different players who want different things, but that's like
hashtag not all.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why you see these bracings are, well, almost just aligned with the top, right?
Yes.
So they're not in an angle or
it is
slight.
weird. It looks weird to me, honestly. Even though I know nothing, I don't see this ever. You know.
So what does this do? In theory, this lets the vibration of the string through the bridge, through the top, move quicker.
Yeah.
Because if you put bracings in more of an angle, the theory is here, but people disagree. But anyway, so the theory is there that you keep the vibration longer in the top.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. So flamenco players don't want that.
Yeah.
They want explosive power attack bomb, you know?
Yeah, that's done, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why you have less bracing, and you also don't have closing bars.
Yeah.
So I will add another thing. Closing bars are normally, if you have the fan brace, let me pick the guitar up. So this is the top from the front, and in the inside there are like fan braces, right?
Yeah.
So the fan braces are stopped by two closing bars, and they are usually around this angle at these places.
Yeah.
And they like close the bracing pattern off, and then it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also something you see on classical guitars and not on flamenco guitars, because it also, in my theory, I think it keeps the vibration longer in the top, because there's actually something holding it back in this angle, right? So flamenco players have just this bracing, so that it moves really quickly, the vibration through the top, and it's done.
Yeah.
But that way it's more powerful.
Yeah, I see.
Because there's less.
It cuts through more, yeah.
Yeah, there's less. Yeah, exactly. It cuts through. There's less material to stop the vibration from moving quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. The response would be immediate and loud and
Yeah.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, Heike says Skål means Sinsen in Danish. It was for Steven's red wine. Sorry, I thought that must be a maker I don't know about.
What did she say again?
She said Skål means Sinsen in Danish. It was for Steven's red wine. What wine are you drinking, Steven?
I believe it's French.
Nice.
well,
I can actually tell you, I'm drinking a La Trappe, a double. You know?
Oh, double.
Yeah, a double van La Trappe.
If Elke is still watching, she could lecture everybody on Belgium special beers next week.
Yes, she should do that. I would love that. That would be. We can have we can make her guess the Belgian beer. You know?
Well, the red wine. Actually, my dad brought it. So.
Okay.
But he usually buys like French wines.
Okay. Interesting. All right. I had some more pictures to show, but I didn't add them to the OBS thing of like more modern guitars.
Oh God.
Yeah. Do you know anything about these, or should we skip ahead?
Well, if you want to see me fail terribly, then
okay, let's move on. Let's move out of your area. Let's not go to your area of non-expertise. Okay, we're gonna play the what would you rather game. This is for both of you, but I think maybe a little bit more for Filip because a lot of them are guitar focused. So you guys know what would you rather is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Filip,
Yeah.
would you rather sight read a concerto on stage, like the Ponce Concerto, for example? If you've never
Sight read while performing it.
yes, for the first time with orchestra, or would you rather play it completely perfectly on stage but shit your pants very noticeably?
The question is how much you are capable of
Sight reading.
yeah, not just that, but memorizing a piece also. I'm always the fan on stage to memorize my pieces and to play them.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, in the second scenario where you crap yourself, you play perfectly from memory. That's just like guaranteed.
Not always.
No.
Mostly,
But in this hypothetical situation, I mean.
yeah. Yeah, it's good to have the notes in front of you when you play a concerto.
Right.
Because you can orientate. Because sometimes when you play a piece in big dimensions, especially, you can lose touch to it. It's mostly needed to have the notes beside you or in front of you, so you can check up. So
who is turning the pages?
I don't know.
Yeah, that could anyone do. Or you just when you look up Rodrigo Concerto, you can bind them together like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
Heike says the first, of course, I love sight reading. Well, you're very brave, Heike. My sight reading is not that good. Not good enough for the Ponce Concerto, at least.
So,
yeah.
But the second option was if you shit your pants playing beautifully, but nobody would notice?
No, very noticeably.
Oh,
and it's
like
recorded,
dripping from the trousers.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah. So so the question is, do you want to be the person who like kind of screws up by like having to sight read and like missing a bunch of entrances and not being able to play well, or do you want to be the person who everyone's like, wow, that guy was really professional, but he shit himself?
No, I want to honor any piece, even when some other guitarist plays my stuff.
Yeah,
I really like it when they treat the note text as it is.
okay.
So the same honor I expect when I interpret different pieces towards other composers.
Right. Okay.
And that's my attempt towards any work.
Yeah.
I work.
So you'd rather play well then and just like have some personal embarrassment. Yeah. I think the second option is actually better because then you're remembered, like it's impressive, you know? Like if that happens and you still play well, it's like, wow, that's some real focus, you know?
Then you have mental stability.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And of course nobody's going to assume that you meant to do it. I mean, it's like, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well,
but I really imagine you play the Ponce Concerto and suddenly you shit in your pants. So.
Yeah, sounds hard. Yeah.
To be honest, me as like an audience member almost shit my pants when I was visiting a concert or attending a concert by Heike Matisse, who's listening right now, because she lives in Frankfurt and the concert was in Frankfurt. And while she was playing, like middle of the piece, right, it was beautiful. And then all of a sudden a bomb went off.
Oh man!
Like Frankfurt was bombed heavily in the Second World War, right? So they were cleaning up one they found in a river, which was maybe like less than 1 kilometer away.
Oh my god! And they didn't tell people?
Well, they evacuated like close by, but we weren't evacuated. We didn't know about anything. So she was just playing, and all of a sudden the whole building literally shook like.
Oh my god!
And I remember that the footstool that Heike was using just moved up a bit, like this. But then she sort of was like she lifted like one eyebrow, like okay, just continue. It was the best.
Yeah, the picture of professionalism. Unlike this stream.
Yeah, no, she was great.
So amazing. It was fantastic. Nice. Super cool. That's a great story, actually.
Yeah, I know. That's why I had to tell him.
Yeah. Okay, this one's for Steven. Would you rather build... Okay, so let's say that there's two scenarios. Okay, the first scenario, you build a guitar that's like perfectly exactly what you want from your art right now. It's like a perfect encapsulation of your beliefs and your like ideas about what a guitar should be, your own techniques, all this stuff. and nobody plays it, or at least for a long time you have to work really hard to sell it? Or would you rather build a guitar for someone super, super famous, but they ask for a bunch of things that you don't really agree with and you kind of need to do because they asked for them? What would you rather? And it's going to get played like everywhere, you know? And in the end, it still sounds good, but you don't believe in it, you know? You're like, this is not what I was going for.
Well, then the first.
Oh, still, really? Okay. Wow,
And-
you
and
are a
I'm-
man of principle.
And I'm doing that as a matter of fact.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Because everybody pushes to build double tops.
Yeah.
I mean, even Agnello Desiderio.
Yeah.
I believe it's time to do an impression of the maestro.
Yes. Yes.
So here goes. So
I'm excited about this. Impressions are encouraged.
yeah. So he. So I the first time I showed him my instrument and he really liked it, and then the second time I met him, I told him that I brought a new guitar for him to try.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came to me. Is it a cedar this time? and then I said, "No, maestro, I'm sorry. It's still spruce." He said, "You should try a cedar because why not? It could be very good." Okay, you don't have. I understand double top. You don't like double top, but I mean I need this. But at least you can build the cedar.
And you didn't even cave even for Agnello.
Well, he didn't ask me if I would build a double top.
For him. Okay, yeah.
But he did tell me that I should build a cedar. And okay, it's a good point to make now. Public annunciation. I will build a cedar.
Oh my god. Build the hype. The hype.
No. I mean, to be fair, I have my own vision with the type of instrument I build right now, and people seem to like that.
Yeah.
It takes longer to sell. I will be honest about that, and you need someone who's looking for something very specific.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's fine as well, right?
I think it's better to be known for what you specifically do than to just like.
Well, I was asked this question last week publicly on Instagram by Alexei Belousov from Israel. He's Russian-Israeli guitarist, and he asked me like that, or he commented something like, "Yeah, double top will make you money, right?" Or that you will build guitars for your customers. And then I turned it around. I said, well, actually, partly maybe, but no, not in my case, because people come to me because they want my sound or my interpretation of the Spanish sound.
Yeah.
I never had a situation where someone came up to me and like, yeah, I like your guitar, but can you build like something completely different for me?
Yeah. They wouldn't come to you. That's the thing. I mean.
No, I mean, they would just go to the next person who builds whatever they like.
Yeah.
Like lattice or double top or a combination of both or carbon fiber used or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Heike Mathiasen says she played the encore on your guitar at that concert you're talking about. That's cool.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And Thomas Laugvik Nanestad says great impression. I agree. Very nice. Okay, next one. Next, would you rather? Filip, would you rather go on stage and play an entire concert in your pajamas with no explanation to the audience, or would you rather go on stage and play it really sick, like coughing, sneezing, like really, really sick?
Coughing and sneezing, and when you are sick, you should stay home.
Yes.
Then the pajama is preferred. Even in that, even if the public would think, why the hell he has no normal clothes on, but it would be better to play something correct than to perform sick, because I did 2 concerts in my life when I was younger, when I was really coughing and this, and I was like, okay, I will do it anyhow.
Yeah.
And it isn't a good idea.
Yeah.
You get your aspirin and then all the medicaments, and you think for an hour or 2, okay, I'm fine now, I can do it. But on stage, when you start to cough, especially on difficult pieces, I played in my youth many barrios pieces also in my repertoire.
Yeah.
2 of them, the Las Abejas and the La Catedral. And on the last abejas, I suddenly started to cough like I was in the bedroom.
Oh
and
no!
And it was like, okay, I restart again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was for me. It was for me like I was breaking out of the focus
Yeah.
totally, and not that I could continue, but I really needed to restart the whole piece again, the whole first part of the Las Abejas, and it was for me. The lesson. It's better to always perform when you are healthy.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, for sure. I would say so. I've performed sick before, and it's not fun.
It's not fun. It's really sickening hard.
Sickening. Oh man. Okay. Would you rather play only one composer for an entire year, or only one type of piece, like only preludes, only sonatas, only fantasias? You know.
Or
would you rather only play one composer for an entire year, or play only one type of piece, like only preludes, only fantasias, this kind of thing?
I think I would prefer the composer. When you wanna pick up a certain composer, which you wanna really study. For example, Bach.
Yeah.
And you play many pieces of him. Such rich repertoire also there for us. Why not? Why not preparing for a concerto where you play the whole lute suite, for example, or something? Yeah. And that makes more sense than to play just preludes.
Yeah, or just
because every form has its own character.
Yeah.
So for me, it would make more sense to, if someone wants it, just to make a concert with Bach pieces, for example. Why not?
For sure.
That makes more sense for me.
Okay, Taiwo is saying, my question to Filip, how does it feel with the smoky black hat during concerts?
Yeah, the smoky black hat is kind of legendary. It became over the years. In every concert I do now, the several years, I have my hat on.
Nice.
Usually.
Do you practice with it also?
No, not needed.
Okay.
Not needed. No. It's like when I have it on my head, I even don't recognize it. Yeah. And also I have concerts, for example, when I did with Steven this year the presentation of guitars for the Rotary Club in a small village in Germany.
Yeah.
We went there and he talked about guitar, and then I gave a concert, a little one. I didn't head there, but for my concerts, for my solo concerts, which I've planned this year again, but Corona came, as we all know, so
yeah, concerts
all screwed up. Yeah, not a thing. And the head you don't recognize really.
Yeah.
It's like okay, it's a gimmick, like.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, I always call Filip every time we like chat in WhatsApp. I send him like memes and gifs of John Belushi.
Nice.
From the like with the sideburns, because when Filip is like unshaven and he has the hat and the jacket, it's just Blues Brothers all the way. You know?
Yeah. Awesome. Jethro is saying, question for Steven, is Brazilian rosewood also the holy grail for you?
Brazilian rosewood,
that's a very good question, Jethro. Well, I never used it because I'm unable to get it legally.
Okay.
I've had a few offers to get illegal Brazilian rosewood for backs and sides, but I declined because
it's not a good idea.
Yeah, and also for my customer. I mean, my customer deserves some sort of a fair and legally obtained woods and materials for the instrument, right? So I'm not going to use ivory. I'm not going to use illegal woods.
Yeah.
Because well, they're buying something which is sort of
problematic for them also.
Edgy and dodgy, yeah, and it can be quite problematic if you go across borders.
Yeah.
But then again, many luthiers still use it, but like the older generation have it, and they have the papers for it because they bought it before it got banned, because it got banned in the early 90s.
Right.
But coming back to the question, is it the holy grail for me? No. Because I believe that the back and sides for classical guitar, which type of wood is less relevant, and what's more relevant is the stiffness, the density, and the flexibility of the wood.
Right. Yeah.
So I believe that I can obtain roughly the same result
Mhm.
with Indian rosewood back and sides or maple back and sides for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Just quickly, maple is a bit softer generally than rosewood. Okay,
Okay.
so you can make the rosewood slightly thinner and the maple you leave a bit thicker.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there have also been some studies, the Leonardo project. If you're interested in this kind of thing, you should research the Leonardo Research Project. It's a Belgian project that I was quite closely associated with because I personally know the people involved, like Walter Verrijt and Jackie Walrath.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, what they did blind tests with um, 5, 6, or 10 guitars. I don't remember exactly, and they had each different backs and sides woods.
Oh, interesting.
So they did blind guitarist and blind audience, and they had to rate the guitars that were played, and they were all built the same body, same bracing, same top, like the same top wood.
Yeah.
To compare and to be fair, and nobody catched the rosewood guitars to be better.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna call you guys right back. Send you another invite. 1 second, because Zoom is prompting me. So
Yeah.
watch your messages. One moment. Sorry, everybody. And we will finish this story. People who have questions, I love all these questions for Stephen and Filip. This is perfect, so keep them coming. And just while I'm switching over to them, please tune in next week for, first of all, on Monday, or sorry, Tuesday, the 12th, I will be, or sorry, the 15th, I will be streaming with Brett Gunther, who's a great guitarist and teacher in Calgary in Canada, an old friend of mine. And then on Friday, as we've been mentioning, and she's in the chat, I'm going to have Elke Prinsier coming, which is going to be super fun. She's a Belgian guitarist studying here in the Netherlands. So please join in next week for Brett and Elke. Okay, I'm letting Stephen in. Here we go. We're back.
Yeah, nice.
Nice. Okay.
Hello.
Nice. We're back. Okay. Someone asked questions. There were more questions for you.
Yeah, I saw from Jethro and I saw a comment from Elke, which are both really interesting.
Yeah. Do you want to address them or read them out to the
Yeah.
chat?
Yeah, sure. So Jethro asked, "What's my favorite back and sides wood?" Maple.
Maple. Okay.
Yeah. Flame maple. Why? It hardly ever cracks. It's incredibly stable. Like if you see 200-year-old Viennese guitars, the backs and sides are hardly ever cracked or whatever, you know?
Wow.
It's just a lovely material to work. It's so rewarding. And especially the grain, if you start polishing it, it has such a lovely glow to it. It really comes at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And the newspaper guitar. Elke mentioned the newspaper guitar. Really interesting. That's the ultimate point to prove that the backs and sides are less relevant than, for instance, the top. And even Antonio de Torres proved this point already back in the 1860s, I think. He made a guitar with paper mache backs and sides.
Wow.
So spruce top, cedar neck, ebony fingerboard, but backs and sides were newspaper glued together to form like a paper mache shape. And Walter Verrijt, famous luthier from Belgium, did it also to prove basically that it also still sounds pretty good, even if it has like paper glued backs and sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's also what I believe. So fundamentally, the top is the most important part of the classical guitar for me, period.
Yeah. Taiwo was actually asking something related. One of my students raised a question someday that I couldn't answer. The question is it only wood that can be used to make the acoustic of the guitar? The calabash used in making the two lutes Guillermi in Africa sounds louder than the woods. Have you ever thought of another idea apart from wood? So I guess this is kind of a similar topic.
Well, I mean, Ovation experimented with like plastic backs and sides in the 70s, 80s. But those are steel string guitars. I mean, like other materials than wood, I'm not really inclined or interested to try it.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been carbon fiber experiments. There have been.
I know a cellist who plays a carbon fiber cello, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
there are many violoncellos of carbon fiber.
yeah.
Or,
the moment.
also even what's the stuff called? Styropor, Filip.
Styropor.
Yeah, no, in English. It's the
I asked
Tempex.
Captain Google.
Tempex. Tempex.
Okay, there you have.
So it's called Tempex, and there have been some cellos who were carved in Tempex tops, and it sounds really funny. It sounds like really deep and low vibration, but no, I believe that wood is still a natural material, and that's best suited for instruments in general. I would say.
Ross is asking again. The luthier who built my guitar. Ross is asking, question for Steven: if you could only keep one power tool, what would you choose? That's a good one.
Okay, I mean, there's a delay on the thing, right? So I cannot really ask Ross a question back, because
Well,
I would
you
like,
can, yeah, but
I would like it to have it a bit more specific. But okay, the bandsaw.
yeah.
And but Ross, coming back to your question, do we take in the equation that you get backs and sides and tops already cut to like rough size? I mean, if you give me like blocks of wood, I would just, it would be terrible to cut them for backs and sides, like in longitudinal grain. It would be terrible. So if we're only talking about, if we're building the guitar already, then I would keep my router, and that's it.
Interesting.
Or no, the Proxon. That's a small table saw.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah.
I have a would you rather for Filip. I just remembered actually that I asked another composer, which I thought was an interesting one. Would you rather be able to play guitar every day and only compose once a day, or the opposite, compose every day but only play guitar? Or, sorry, would you rather be able to compose every day but only play guitar once a week, or play guitar every day but only be able to compose once a week?
The question itself, you mean that like that composing and not using the guitar with it?
Well, let's say you could use the guitar when you do composing, of course, but the thing is, you'd be limited to composing once a week or practicing once a week. Let's say you could play the guitar when you compose generally, but you couldn't practice.
In my daily life, I also don't have time to compose every day.
Okay.
I teach a lot, and I practice to keep up my level.
Right. I guess it's impossible to keep the level up without practicing.
Without practicing, no chance.
Yeah.
So when I have an idea, or when I wrote my both guitar concertos when I had free time, I was like sitting every day on it 4 hours till the morning.
Oh God, yeah.
Working on the material I had there, and trying to find an expression for the ideas I've had in my mind, and it's so different. It's a very difficult question, to be honest.
Yeah.
Very difficult. It would mean the question, what do I love more, to compose or to play guitar? And that's for me impossible to answer.
Right. Yeah.
Because both is for me essential for my entire life, and it's I cannot answer it simply.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. But what's your process of composing too? Like, do you compose at a certain time of day, or what's the or do you compose with the guitar in hand usually?
It's different. When you compose, let's say for orchestra, you cannot have here a fagot, you cannot have here a contrabasson, you cannot have this and that. You need to know how to work with the material you have. You can use a so-called reference instrument. We call that as composers. Most composers use usually a piano for this. Yeah. And I use the guitar because we are a polyphonic harmonic instrument.
Yeah.
And we are very capable of imitating, as Segovia in the famous interview said, of imitating different sounds. So
right, yeah. Maybe it's actually better in some ways to imitate different colors on the guitar than piano.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I'm saying that the guitar is one of the best, when not the best instrument to compose for big symphonies. Because you don't have not just the different colors, but you have also many octaves. What is needed more than on piano, where you have simply two colors, either you pull the pedal, the left one or the right one, or the normal sound you have. The guitar is capable of giving you a picture of, let's say, trombones. let's say violoncello, to pull it up in a sound context. And that's a very, very big benefit we have as guitarists when we are composing big pieces. There was a reason why Villa-Lobos played violoncello and guitar. He learned piano laterwards through his wife and so on, but he never reached a level on it as he did on the guitar. So so it shows that our instrument is truly one of those ones who are very, very good when it's about bigger pieces and different kinds of pieces of chamber music and this stuff. It's
Awesome.
really good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, actually, this is something in my master's with Carlo Marchione, where I study in Maastricht. We worked through the Grand Overture this last year, and this is like the perfect example of like all the different instruments you can imitate in one solo guitar piece. You know, it's insane. How deep you can go when you look into trying to name the different voices as part of the overture. You know, it's pretty. There's a lot there.
This is like in we have in the whole classical scene. I'm not talking just about us guitarists who know the instrument very well, and we know how much professionalism and practice it takes to master it, and how complicated it is. Many pianists, violinists, and others don't see the guitar in that context, that it is a very on the same level and respect. But it took a lot of time. When you imagine that our guitar got popular, our instrument got popular with Segovia. But a so long history before. Then you see that there was not much time that many guitarists became also composers like Schumann, who wrote for other instruments than just guitar. We have their different history, but I think my process as I work, when I have, for example, a melody, or I call that a theme, I can make out of it many different things. I have used in my guitar concerto, the first one in D minor, I have used this theme, bam, 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 ba, ba, bam. And this theme I made in the first act, Allegro, which is very furious, with the background and the strings and so on, with trombones. And in the last act, I made out of this theme a fugue. So as an entrance in the beginning, like an introduction. And that's the interesting thing as a composer. You have this emotional level, but you have also the knowledge and tools you use to give these emotions within yourself an expression. But you need to know at once what is possible with that material you have on the paper.
And with the instrument too, I mean, you know.
Yes, of course. Of course. Today's writing is nearly, except from some helps, you have, for example, you don't need to write anymore only on hand and then send it to a publisher so he can make notes out of it. It's it got faster, but the tools and the knowledge stayed the same when you write a piece. That's always the same.
Cool. Taibo says, learned a lot from Filip about structures and composition. Thanks, man. Yeah, well, we're going to talk about Taibo's compositions when he comes on at the beginning of August.
I will watch too. Greetings to you, Taibo.
That will be super fun. Yeah, he's releasing a really cool book of Nigerian classical guitar music. So if you want to
talk hours and days.
If you have the link already, Taibo, you can put it in the chat here also. Okay, sorry, there were more questions about guitar too. Taiwo says calabash is natural too. The question came based on conservation of woods. What does he mean by calabash? I don't know what this is.
I just Googled it while you were texting, I'll be honest, because I had no idea what it was.
I'm soon back, guys.
It's like a seed, I think.
Oh, interesting.
And you can make like supplement, like flour out of it. So I guess you could...
You can make like a wood out of it, like a wood substitute kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe like bake something out of it. I don't know.
Interesting. Ross says, yes, you can have commercially available backs and sides in this hypothetical. Or maybe it would be more fun to just send you a tree.
Yeah, I read it,
Steven just gets a tree in the mail and has to like...
Yeah, no, exactly. So, no, I mean, if I would get like commercially available back and sides, then I would, if I would only have to, keep only one power tool, I would keep my small table saw. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Nice. Okay, let's do another time lapse, Steven.
Yeah, sure.
Which one do you want to show now?
How about assembling the guitar?
Assembling the guitar. Okay. Let me pull this up and then pull up my time-lapse window. Okay, good.
Which will give Ross the opportunity to see all my secrets inside.
Yes, exactly. And I'm going to share my screen so you see the screen. Oh, this is so complicated. Okay. Here we go. You ready? Do you want full speed or it's 1 minute and 22 seconds?
Yeah, let's keep it a bit slower because this is really a quick one.
Half speed, okay.
Yeah, half speed is fine.
Okay, it's playing now. Do you see it?
So at this stage, I'm going to assemble the guitar. So normally in the building process, you first make the separate parts, like the neck, the top, the sides, the back. And this is the Spanish traditional way. So you start with the top and then you add the neck first that you see here.
Okay, wait, so I'm just pausing it.
Yeah. So what I'm doing here now is you can see the top is ready braced and going. You can see my bracing pattern there.
Yeah.
And then I glue the neck on top.
Oh, so you have some cross braces too.
Yes.
Ross does something like this, although I don't know offhand exactly how many more or less it is, but it's kind of like a pseudo lattice type thing, you know.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think it's more cross braces than this because it sounds a bit more latticey. But that's what attracted me to his guitars actually, because they had the power of a lattice and some of the sort of punch, but they didn't sound banjo-y, you know.
They still had color.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I was attracted to the sort of middle ground between the two there, you know. So
yeah.
I hope I'm not misspeaking, Ross. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go on. So we see your top.
Yeah. So we see my top, and it's in the mold. It's in the shape, and the neck is being glued now. So I'm preparing the neck at this point. So this takes like half an hour to assemble it once you have all the pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I pour a bit of glue on the neck. I position it in the center line. You will see that in a minute. Glue, glue, glue. And there we go.
The neck is there.
Yes, and then we clamp it.
You didn't have the curly hair here, man.
I did, but it was just shorter, man.
Oh yeah, I know. Okay, it's the long, luscious locks I meant.
Yeah. So now we have one side. You can pause it for a minute.
Okay.
So we fitted one side. So I use the system that Jose Romanios used, which means that you glue the side in the neck with a wedge. And like a wedge is like a sort of a concave shaped piece of wood. And then you clamp it. So if you see near the clamps where the neck is, the wedge will go in there. And in my right hand in the picture where it's paused now, you see the wedge.
Yeah.
So you can continue the video now. So I fit the wedge, see if it fits. It fits. I put glue on it. And I position the side first. It's important. Mm-hmm. Ross will know. So the wedge is in. Almost. No, it's not. Okay. First I put glue. So I put glue in and now I hit it in. So the wedge, you can pause it for now. So the wedge combined with glue and the side makes for like one of the strongest kinds of assembling ways to assemble the whole guitar. And I think it's quite useful to do it this way because that's a typical joint you never have to take apart if you're going to restore the instrument. Mm-hmm. And typically on older instruments you can see that if the side was just fitted in the neck like this and there was nothing between like the neck and
they can't see your hand, Stephen.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so how am I going to explain it? So normally the side would be just in it and it would be a bit loose, and while with humidity and the wood starts moving it can become unstable. Mm-hmm. That's what you see with historical instruments. You can continue the video. So one side is in and I clean the glue, I wipe it, and now we're going to fit the other one. I first clamp the side firmly so it's in place. Adjust it. I have my prepared wedge there that I'm going to fit. After I put glue in it, of course. You see I put my hammer on the left side of the video so I can hammer it in gently. And it's in.
Cool.
So now we have two integrated sides. So it's becoming a guitar now. Wouldn't you agree? You can see that it's a guitar now.
It is almost there.
Yeah. So now I clamp the sides a bit more because I'm going to glue the underblock, as you might call it. The Spanish, no. So yeah, so the block. And that's keeping the two sides together. You can pause it here. So you see that I just added a little block there of spruce, which is going to keep the sides near the end together and, well, stable, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, you can continue the video. So, but it's funny, in this video, you can see me actually sawing in the mold there because it was too big.
That's funny. Improvised attempt, right?
Well, I was pretty stressed out with this video, you know?
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, and there we go. So it's glued. So now we have the whole guitar, almost.
Wonderful.
And the next step would be to glue the top more firmly to the sides with little blocks of wood that you call peones or tentalones. Depends which language you're speaking. And I would add more reinforcement on the sides to later glue the back.
Okay, cool. Why don't we do Why don't we do the other time lapse actually now too?
Sure.
The other one is heel shaping, right?
Yeah, heel shape. So this is regarded as the Spanish traditional way of assembling a classical guitar.
Okay,
which means
pull up that.
You start with the top and adding the neck. So the American style would be to first make the complete body, finish it, preparing it, and then glue the neck in as the last thing.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, also half speed, or could we do 3/4 maybe?
Yeah, 3/4. That's fine.
Okay, here we go.
Quite late already.
No worries. I mean, I'm not on a time limit, but you know.
No, me neither.
Carving the neck, carving the heel, shaping both.
This might be really interesting because you can actually see that it's still a block of wood at this point. So I first cut the slots for the sides to go in. And then I take out the material there. So later in that slotch, there are going to be the sides. And now, Ross, you can see me cutting the heel out on the bandsaw.
The most important tool to you.
No, it's not.
Oh, sorry. I missed that.
That's fine.
Steve, sorry, go ahead.
No.
Oh, sorry. Ty was just saying, Steven, I can't post pictures as I can't find a way to. However, I will find a way to show you the calabash after the streaming. Oh, it doesn't let you put a
I'm always
link.
interested, so hit me up.
Yeah. It's too bad it doesn't let you put it in the comments so well. Okay, anyways, let's continue this video. So you've got your heel.
Now it's still like a raw block of wood, right? You can already see a little bit of the shape, but so what I'm doing now is I'm starting to cut out the shape of the heel, right?
Cool.
So the heel is sort of made in separate pieces. It's 4 layers of wood in my case, in this case. So 4 blocks of wood to make one. Okay. So now I need to shape those to the elegant heel shape that you normally find on a finished instrument. So I do that still by hand. No router, no nothing. Just 2 chisels, a big one, small one, and a knife, which you see me using now. So if you pause it here.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. It's still fine. So you can already see that it's not square anymore. It's already shaping to a V.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this V point, I take my really sharp knife, and it's a Japanese knife that is really hardened metal, and I carve the wood away to give this elegant shape.
Cool. We're gonna see the elegance here.
Yes.
Oh, you like put it at different angles and stuff.
Yeah, so because I'm right-handed, I have to work from certain angle all the time because that way I have the most control.
Right. Yeah.
And here you can see me, if you pause it here, that I already have...
Oops, I'll go back a bit. There we go.
Yeah, that's perfect. So at this stage, you can already see that it's kind of a heel shape, right? So like, it's quite it's already shaped. You can see the shape. So at this point, I take my quite raw sanding paper, the stuff you would never use for your nail because it's so coarse and and hard.
Yeah.
And I shape it, and I take out like the raw edges.
Beautiful.
Little adjustment.
So mesmerizing. Or maybe it's just the double talking.
maybe.
I'm always fascinated when I look how Steven does this all.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now I take my saw and I cut out a bit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. So pause it here, please. So I'm working now on the side, on the part of the neck that's going to be on the inside of the body.
Yeah.
If you look through your sound hole towards your neck, you can see the heel.
Yes.
And I am going to produce a Spanish heel in this case,
Nice.
which you're going to see in a minute. And yeah, you can continue the video. Shaping away.
Yes.
And I just use hand tools at this stage. So just a chisel, a small plane, and that's it. You can see all the chips of wood gathering on my bench there.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, so shaping the end part so that's nice and smooth, so that you look actually at one even edge if you look at it from the inside. So here you see the typical Spanish view on this picture here. So that the edge is broken into quite a larger area.
Cool.
And that's what Antonio de Torres did on his instrument.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing, and then I should be able to pull you up on here. Cool. Well, that's a very elucidating lecture, I have to say. I feel like I've learned a lot this stream.
Well, that's just wonderful to hear, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Heike says, I love these videos. Yes, they're great. And Ross Chiason says, very cool to see. Definitely some similarities to the bracing in Mike's guitar. I've never built a guitar with a Spanish heel, though, a result of a North American upbringing, I think. Thanks for sharing your process.
Exactly. So that's what I figured. So he is North American, I presume, from this comment.
Yeah.
So,
well, he's Canadian, so.
Canadian. Okay, so yeah. So he probably built... I presume, Ross, that you built the body first. So the top, the back, and the sides, you glue it together that you have one body, and then you later add the neck in, and you make it like a pocket. So
yeah,
that's a different style, but also works very well. And I believe... Is your neck... Do you have a raised fingerboard on your guitar, Michael?
You mean Ross? Oh, me. Jesus. Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, well, he built your guitar. Okay, so
Yes.
that's the perfect way to get that.
Yes.
In the traditional Spanish way, it's... I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's really hard to use the
So
Spanish...
you don't have a raised fingerboard on yours, then? I guess not. I don't see it on Lucy. Yeah.
No. So it's... I just have a...
Straight. Okay.
Yeah, straight. Exactly.
Cool. Well, I'm going to have Ross on here eventually, and then he can show us his process.
Yeah.
That would be super cool. Awesome. Cool. Nice, guys.
Yes.
Well, before, I think we've covered most topics. I mean, I usually ask people about the future of classical guitar. Yeah. Like, what do you guys think is next for both building and playing guitar? Where are we going as an instrument?
Yeah. I see that the last 15 to 20 years, where I actively watch and also visited festivals, that the level of playing increased immensely.
Yeah.
We have so many good and solists who are capable of playing a huge repertoire.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to live at this time. When I imagine, I always also look up when I play the composer how he lived, and when I watch the old guitar composers like Kaspar Merz, who wrote, but there was no one to play his stuff.
Yeah.
Nearly no one. Guitar was back then an absolute niche instrument, and I see today a certain progress where we have many young talented guitarists, and every year we get more and more.
Mm-hmm.
So our art of classical guitar will survive and will continue to progress because the average level of playing has increased over the years.
Yeah.
What would I wish for guitar playing is when I do transcriptions, for example, from different organ pieces or Kunstlieder pieces or
you're doing
different
Schumann
kinds
right now, right?
Yeah. I transcribe Schumann because I see the note text. I see, okay, when I hear our guitar is very capable of warm tones, of many different stuff, and when you can work with the material, you you have there in the original composition, you can make out of it a very good guitar piece, always.
Yeah.
And as I did also for the great string sextet concerto Souvenir de Florence by Tchaikovsky, which will also get published. It is like I wish that we have more reference also towards more transcriptions, even more repertoire, more and more and more. Yeah. Because the more we also manage to play pieces where pianists say, haha, look, I can play this. And when we are proving that our guitar can compete with that and giving its originality into it, I believe strongly that the guitar will rise again on the same classical guitar, especially on the same popular level as it was 40 years ago. I'm sure about that. I'm sure about that.
That's pretty helpful.
Yeah, because also the social media you see, when you see channels like CCAS from GFA and for many different people, like for example, Heike Matthijs.
Yeah.
You have many people who are not always knowing how classical guitar playing works or how what it does mean, but they are clearly enjoying it. They're clearly enjoying it. You can see that this instrument has the potential to be on a brighter mass seen as a very profound professional instrument, like for example the violin, the piano, and so on.
Yeah.
And I see that there is a good future for us to come. I'm there in a positive mood, really.
That's good.
Really. Yeah,
that's really that's refreshing. I would say in this time, that's very refreshing.
Yeah, why shouldn't we be in a positive mood when we have not just as on festivals as we see that we all constantly get more and more younger people in, but also that we have so many influences we can share nowadays.
Yeah.
So we also break out of the festivals. We can present the classical guitar to more people than ever before. I think that we can that we didn't use the maximum out of it yet, but I'm pretty much sure that it will be again a time where the classical guitar is also in the current normal media on television more present than it is nowadays, and especially in the concert halls and the big ones.
Yeah.
No, guitar concertos are not that often played anymore. Sadly.
Yeah, perhaps that can change. I mean, I think that the ubiquitous popularity of the guitar as an instrument outside of classical music also helps, because for the people who come to a classical guitar concert, I think they have a feeling that this is something at least a little bit familiar, you know.
Yeah, of course.
They understand what a guitar is. They understand how a guitar works. And
that's it. Yeah.
To see it played and performed in this totally alien way for them is really interesting. I think kind of exotic, you know. And I think that,
of course. Yeah.
I think that helps a lot also, because even with my students, like, you know, you get many students who don't want to play classical guitar, and then you show them some techniques and you show them some basic pieces, and they're like, wow, you know, it's like the classic, like, show Asturias to your like electric guitar student, and they're like, ooh, I want to play that, you know.
Yeah, the best example is now I have a student, a little one. His name is Rocco. He is like the fifth time now. He had the fifth hour with me.
Yeah.
We started 1 month ago. Yeah. And he came into the room, and I asked him, so did you set a goal for yourself? And he said, no, I just like guitar. And I said, okay, I'll show you different stuff, what you can do. I showed him a bit blues, I showed him a bit rock pop the current way, a bit of tapping and this e-guitar and classic. And then he looked at me, I want to learn it. Now after 5 hours he plays already with using the strokes really good, always in change, not repeating anything. He plays now very easy, a more easy version in A minor of the Anonymous Romanza, the famous one. And it is stunning for me to see that when you have younger people, I have also older ones and also people who want to study, and I prepare them and stuff. But also the younger ones, when you show them what it is about, they're totally fascinated of it. Instantly, this motivation is there also to play this. And I think there you are completely right. We as teachers get always the questions, can you teach guitar? And I think the more we also influence in a positive way, and the more we also show that classical guitar is existent, and we let, of course, an open choice what they want to learn, But most of them, I tell you truly, most of my pupils totally, definitely, regardless of age, say, I want to learn classic.
Yeah, and I think
It's really true.
yeah, it's not 100% true for me, but at the same time, even the ones who don't learn it, when you play all these different genres, I do the same thing where I play examples. I actually send a playlist of too many students who are new, who like guitar but don't know that much about guitar music. I send a playlist of my favorite folk bands, you know, Fleet Foxes, my favorite metal bands, my favorite classical guitarists, and I ask them to listen to all these different kinds of guitar playing because I say the guitar is such a rich instrument. And I don't want to limit them from the beginning. You know, I want them to have the feeling that they can go anywhere with the guitar. But from there, it's quite common that even if they don't play entirely classical, that they want to learn some of it because I just,
Yes, of course.
For a person who's interested in guitar, classical guitar is a very fascinating thing. Like, you know, it's just super cool how you use the instrument, I think. Like, it's that simple, actually.
Yeah, that's quite a simple answer, yes. Yeah. And I think that's is the reason always why I'm very positive when it's about the future of our instrument. Totally.
Heike Mathiasen says we have to leave the guitar festival bubble. I agree, yeah. I mean, I think guitar festivals are great, but I think they're really good for all of us, actually, in many ways. If they're done in a good way, you know, there are negative ways to do it, but if they're done in a good way, I think they're great. But I think also the guitar can't survive in the wider world without guitarists going out to do other things, collaborating with other instruments, especially chamber music. You know, it's
if you go like crossover, if you I mean, for instance, if you try to get more into the steel string era of things, even though many purists will actually dislike that very much and really want to stick to this.
Yeah, but you know, I think we need the people who do this so that we cross pollinate the genres. It's good for both genres, actually.
And I believe that it's actually one of the ways that people will discover classical guitar.
Yeah, for sure.
How are people new people going to find out about classical guitar and all its assets without having some sort of a leap way to get into it? I mean, for me especially, I got introduced or reintroduced to classical guitar through Andrew York.
Yeah.
Who is writing
some sort of crossover music, kind of almost, you know.
And I mean, if I tell that to people in guitar festivals, most of them I get like negative reactions, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Like that he's not pure enough, or that he's
right. Yeah. Well, purity culture is a problem in every single group.
Yeah, in every instrument. When we talk about the festivals, what Heike said is a point. Is a point, kind of.
Yeah.
That we need to leave this bubble. Because when we don't, we are always like, okay, we get the younger generation to us, and then we bind them into the system, and it's more difficult than for us to encourage people outside of it to learn this fantastic instrument.
And also, it's limiting to the people within the system too, because we develop these like standards of exactly how things should be, and it's just you know, it's hard to. I mean, of course, we need standards like artistically, but it's hard when you're sort of shoehorned into like this is the right way to do things. I don't know. I had an example. Oh, actually, an example of a good crossover thing is like one of my former guests, Jacob Sayer, is a guitarist in Vancouver who's studied classically. He did his master's alongside me with Daniel Bolshoi in Vancouver, and he after his master's in classical performance, which he does very well, he switched to mostly composing on steel string guitar and playing like fingerstyle compositions that he makes, which are kind of informed by his classical studies, you know. So he writes a lot of music that's kind of, you could almost compare it to like Bogdanovich or, you know, even Brouwer at times, like that kind of thing, on steel string guitar with classical technique. And it's really cool because he uses all the assets he got from his classical training on that instrument and in that community. And, you know, like I said, that's the situation where steel string fans will hear that and become interested in the fact that, oh, this guy's classically trained, you know. He comes on my show. It's just a way for us to meet each other and, you know, the genres to interact, which I think is cool.
Did you know that the lead guitarist of the death metal band Sepultura was a studied classical guitarist?
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. Also, the band Between the Buried and Me are all classically trained.
Wow.
Yes.
All their members. Yes. I mean, it makes sense. They write like 60-minute concept albums that use all these motifs throughout the whole thing. You know, it's like
Sepultura, Drum D, and
yeah.
That was for me when I heard that or I read that first time, because in my youth I was a big metal fan. Yeah. Big one.
Yeah, me too. Before classical, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well we've solved the future of classical guitar now, so
Not yet, but hopefully we will.
Hopefully we will.
Next stream. Next stream.
I'm gonna invite you guys back to the call for our last thing is the lightning round, and then we're gonna listen to the Bach and finish. So I'm just gonna.
Aren't you going to ask me from the guitar building perspective?
Okay, Stephen, we'll do that as well. I'll invite you guys back.
I will keep it short, but
Okay,
I do have some.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I'm gonna invite you guys right back to this call.
Okay.
Okay, one moment. Sorry, everybody, for this back and forth thing, this Zoom restriction. I should have figured out beforehand. If you have any last-minute questions for them, let us know, because we're about to finish up here. Invite, copy link. I should just actually pay for Zoom, I guess. There we go. Okay. Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. This has been really nice, all the people interacting and asking questions. It's really helpful. Okay, Steven's back in. Hey, Steven.
Hello again.
You are back.
Yes, we are.
Okay. So, Steven.
There we go.
Yes.
Oh, really quickly, Mark Hertz is saying, what do you guys think of romantic guitars? I know very little about them. Do the authentic ones still sound good?
Oh, I love romantic guitar.
Me too.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Because. Oh, sorry, Steven. You. I've talked too much already. Come. You are.
The thing is, if I take like Viennese instruments, for instance, or Lacotte for that matter, you know.
Yeah.
For me, the best tonal sort of qualities are the treble strings and the incredible higher register harmonics you get in this way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the same with the lute, it lacks strong bass.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe that many of these instruments, period instruments, are not used anymore in sort of a concert setting.
Yeah.
And that you have to go to more or less obscure places to find these instruments in sort of a live audience type setting.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that they are really interesting in sound, and I sincerely love the sound. I really like it.
Cool. And what's the future of guitar building? Or guitar from your perspective?
So for the classical guitar, people always ask me like, is it not difficult for you that you don't build double tops with whatever? And then my response to that is the following. So double top lattice has been around for almost 20 years now, more than 20 years, since the 90s. And many people nowadays who started playing guitar around our age, in their 20s, know this sound as the classical guitar. Okay. So that's their, and carbon strings as well. So then they see me in classical guitar festivals, or they see other colleagues that build the types of guitars that I built, the Spanish guitar style, and they are sort of pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not saying that it's better or worse, but it's just different. The most heard comment I get on my guitars is that, that's so different, and but in a good way, I think. And then they play it and like, they're sort of surprised at how it reacts, the colors, the dynamic. It's totally different than what they're used to as what is sort of nowadays the standard, so to speak, of classical guitar. So I believe, and I've seen this with customers, that they have played modern style, so to speak, classical guitars for years, for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And they start to look for a new sound. Because they are, in their words, not mine, they're a bit bored.
Right, yeah.
And they want to be surprised. So they go back to like the original sound of classical guitar. And then and that's where I come in, because I try to bring back this respectful Spanish sound that many people still love to this day, luckily. But I see this trend coming along, so I'm really positive in this way, that people play both types of guitars.
Yeah.
So they play double top and they have a traditional instrument, or they play lattice and they play traditional instruments. So for different repertoire, for different occasions.
Yeah,
so,
I have a much more traditional guitar, like just traditional fan brace guitar, and I also have my semi sort of almost lattice from Ross, and it's really nice to have, both colors available to me, actually, both power and
exactly.
I can tell you my experience when I met Steven. Usually, Lucy wasn't the favorite I had at the beginning.
Oh.
That is a story to tell about the nature of, especially this guitar now, which I own now. At the beginning, I was in love with a Paduk guitar. He had Paduk sides, and he tell me, no,
The same wood
I-
as
the same wood as on Ilona.
Mm.
And I said, okay, I take Lucy with me, and he was saying she would progress, and I can tell you, Michael, it's true.
Mm.
At the beginning, she was very bright, and then suddenly the overtones started to shout out of this instrument in a very, very, very present manner, and I felt totally in love with this. Not just the fact that I played for years a Domitrio cedar top with very whammy basses, a very loud instrument, but Lucy is constantly progressing, and that's something for me I enjoy on this guitar so much. It's like she is not when I used her at the beginning, she was good, she was really good, but she gets just better and better. On the one side, because I get more used to it, and on the second one, because she really progresses in her normal sound. And that's something I can just say that it's really for me one of the best decisions was to go back to spruce, for me personally, in this way. And I'm lucky that I found someone who is building this kind of spruce guitars, because today, as Steven said, most people play double top and cedar.
Yeah.
Most. No.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the colorfulness of the instrument very, very much, regardless of what I do. When I just shift my hand a bit, like this or like that, I can I have a clear change which is hearable for everyone in the audience. And that's what I really enjoy so much on this kind of sensible instruments. When I play my cedar now today, I miss that always in a way.
Yeah.
It's very weird to explain,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean, Michael.
Yeah, I do. No guitar is the same. I mean, my first guitar is by Marcus Dominelli, also Canadian luthier, and it's a very traditional spruce. And it had the same thing where at first when I got it, I was like, I'm not sure I love it. I commissioned it and he made it, and then I was like, I'm not sure I love it. And then after a year or two, it just totally opened up and became really wonderful to play. Then again, I did switch to Ross's because I wanted more power for playing in bigger halls and things, and just in general for playing chamber music. And also, I don't know, I wanted cedar because I played spruce for 4 or 5 years. So again, it was the kind of thing where I was like exploring different things. I wanted a different kind of bracing, a different kind of wood. But now I kind of switch back and forth between the two, except I'm so used to performing now on Ross's that I do that pretty much exclusively. But
it's good to have two instruments.
It's good to have two. I think one of the things I want to do when I finish school is start experimenting a little bit with playing, the same program or different parts of the program on different guitars. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a very good idea.
I mean, I love both of them, but they're just very different instruments.
So what I try to offer with my types of guitars, so people always ask me, you built traditional, right?
Yeah.
Then I said, yes, but the term traditional is like this wide.
Yeah.
And then
in
between traditional, there's like so many categories. You need hours to discuss them.
The same thing with like lattice too. I mean, you have lattices that sound like a freaking banjo, and then you have lattices that sound super subtle. So
Yeah, exactly. So what I try to do is get back to the sound that Tarega basically fell in love with, I believe. So those are quite thin and dynamically built instruments. So, and then you get into the discussion of like volume, right?
Yeah.
But I believe that the volume, but maybe Filip is more inclined as a concert player on my guitar than me, that the overtones actually and the harmonics are what's cutting through to like the back of the audience. And that's what I miss with modern style instruments. And they have their point, of course, as well, but I believe that the volume question, it might feel louder to you as the player, but for the audience, they perceive it totally differently than you do.
Yeah. Of course, it's a big problem because even if you record yourself, it doesn't really.
No. Yeah. Exactly.
Because even Lucy, like the two different videos we're showing on the stream today of Lucy's recordings have very different audio and very different sound from the guitar, right? So.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
The first video was the waltz. There was Lucy. The second video was an older one.
No,
With
but
the older
we're gonna
guitar.
watch the Bach. I mean, sorry.
Ah, the Bach. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
quite different.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
So no, just to wrap up, I'm really positive in the way that there's also room for like single top traditional instruments, because I feel that many people start to, after they graduate, right, and they have their stuff, they want to find more color and more dynamic in their instruments, not just loud. And this is a test I've done with different guitars as well, that once you play them softer, like modern style guitars, that they go completely silent, and that they don't react in the same way that what would you say, a traditional instrument would react.
Yeah.
But so I believe that it's quite nice to have all these different types of guitars for people to choose from. Basically, they want different dynamics, or they want different colors, or whatever. You know,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
nice to have different types to choose from.
Yeah, agreed. Cool. Well, let's play our lightning round and then wrap up with the Bach performance.
Mm.
Yeah.
So the lightning round is like, I'm gonna read out 2 options and you both have to answer as fast as possible. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Cats.
We have the first disagreement. I'm a cat person also. Bogdanovich or Brouwer?
Who?
Bogdanovich
I
or
didn't-
Brouwer?
Bogdanovich. I love
Bro.
this guy.
Brouwer.
Great.
Brouwer. Oh my gosh, you guys are so different. Berlin or Amsterdam?
Amsterdam. Come on.
Yeah, Amsterdam.
Nice.
Definitely.
Okay. Scarlatti or Bach?
Bach. Bach, definitely.
Okay.
Bach.
Vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Why
There
not?
you go. Solo or chamber?
Chamber. I love chamber music.
Chamber
Yeah.
as well.
Mammals or reptiles?
Mammals.
Who?
Mammals or reptiles?
What are mammals on German? Can someone
Sorry,
translate it?
mammals is like animals, like warm-blooded animals. Reptiles is like lizards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like bunny and
Yeah.
Mammals.
mammals. Yeah.
Humans are mammals. Okay, beer or wine?
Wine.
I'm the beer type. I'm from Dortmund, the
Yes.
main capital of beer.
There you go. Claudio Abbado or Herbert von Karajan? Can you choose, Filip?
Can you tell me the names again? Just full.
Claudio Abbado, the conductor, or Herbert von Karajan, the conductor?
Abado.
Abbado, okay.
I'm ignorant on both, so I have no comment.
Okay,
Abbado.
no comment. Pizza or pasta?
Pasta.
Pizza.
Okay, I think I know the answer to this one already, but spruce or cedar?
Spruce. I'm not sure if Steven likes spruce.
I'm not sure either. Okay. Liszt or Chopin?
Chopin.
Yeah, Chopin is kind of more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Difficult question, Michael. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Both are such great composers. I can't.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Liszt. Okay. I'll just saying Chopin because I don't want to choose between this both. To be honest.
Free stroke or rest stroke?
Rest stroke.
Rest
I
stroke.
love it.
Rest stroke.
Yeah, Wamato.
Oh, sorry. Apparently my cat's getting in trouble over here.
The way how to sound loud on traditional instruments.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Definitely.
Debussy or Ravel?
Debussy.
Yeah, Debussy. It's so dark.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Double top, lattice, or traditional? Stupid question again. I shouldn't even ask. Okay, breakfast or dinner?
Double top.
Dinner.
Double top. Okay.
Breakfast.
South Park?
I like. Yeah.
South Park or The
sorry.
Simpsons?
South Park.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah, South Park.
South Park is the best. Okay. Campanella or regular scales?
I practice more with regular scales.
Yeah.
I'm ignorant.
Okay, like cross string or regular scale, Stephen? That's what it means. Okay, never mind. Sor or Giuliani?
Can I say pentatonic scale?
Yeah, sure. Sor or Giuliani?
I love Sor and his Mozart variations. The choice goes to Sor.
Okay, sweet or salty?
Sweets.
Yeah, we can choose sweet. Kind of. I like sweet tastes.
Tremolo or scales?
Tremolo or scales? I personally like tremolo a lot, but it's just a niche technique for certain pieces. Yeah, let's choose tremolo here because it's awesome. It sounds awesome.
Steven?
I'll go scales.
Okay, Horowitz or Rubinstein?
Again, please.
Horowitz or Rubinstein?
Rubinstein, clearly.
Rubinstein.
Rubinstein.
Okay,
even if I adore Horowitz.
Okay, Rodrigo or Tedesco or Ponce?
Tedesco for me.
Yes. I don't
Rodrigo.
know. It's hard to choose between Tedesco and Ponce, I think, but yeah.
They're all great. So.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Tedesco had very very bright impact on our today's pop culture.
Yeah, it's true.
He was the
yeah.
He was the teacher of the composer, not the guitarist, John Williams, who wrote the Star Wars music and stole from Gustav Holst tons of stuff. But John Williams learned from Tedesco.
Yeah, he had such
that's kind of his legacy.
He had such a big impact on film music for sure.
Yeah, immersed.
Yeah. And Tedesco, I don't know. Nobody can write a melody like Tedesco. That's the thing.
No one.
Yeah, concert or masterclass?
Concerts, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, I believe concerts are more memorable.
Yeah.
Somehow, because they're more intense.
Except for the person playing in the masterclass.
I enjoyed masterclasses as I do concerts now, but masterclasses are for people who are on the way to learn the guitar. And when you compare it to the experience of giving a concert and the audience is applauding you, that's kind of a great experience always.
Different, yeah.
Yeah, different.
Restoration of the composer's intention or personal interpretation? As a composer, what do you think, Filip?
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious too.
Look, it would be really boring when I write in the note text everything what the interpreter should do. That would be kind of disgusting for the interpreter. He would think,
so
why he doesn't let
Stravinsky.
me. No, I'm not, and I'm not changing that much the time and the rhythm. But no, I'm clearly on the side of the interpreter there. That he has the freedom to give the expression he wants to, also a bit.
Yeah. So you leave a little bit more up to the player.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Bream or Segovia?
Bream. I don't like Segovia.
Yes.
Bream as well.
I don't think very few people pick Segovia. Mountains or beaches?
Beaches.
Like depends on who's like walking there.
Oh, okay, Steve.
On mountains, yeah. Okay. She got my point.
Okay, carbon or nylon?
Oh, come on.
Nylon.
Really? Oh my gosh, I'm so different than you guys. I play like carbon. I like lattice and double tops.
Yeah, we already discussed the atheistic things.
Yeah, I know. Hashtag heretic. That's me.
No. I see that like this.
This is why there is no God.
I see it in a way. A bit like this. It depends on which guitar you use.
Yeah. No, it's just
topic of carbon.
This is very true. On my spruce guitar that I used to perform with, I never use carbon. I use nylon. Because it's way too bright. But on the guitar I play now, it sounds way better with carbon. So it's not really true for me to say I like carbon. It's just the guitar I'm concertizing on now. It sounds better.
Sure.
So
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I've heard guitars with carbon that sound fantastic, like Gabriel Bianco.
Yeah.
He uses a small man, right?
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I mean, but for my instrument, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
I would say nylon. And a few of the people who play my instruments, I know they're playing carbon on it. And like the hard tension, you know, the great stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that good shit. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. This has been amazing. It's been so much fun having you on.
Totally.
Thank you. It was really fun.
It's been great. And thank you to the audience. You guys have been amazing, asking so many questions and being so involved.
Yeah, for sure. And
really.
Can I quickly show the people maybe the project I'm working on, and then we wrap up?
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't ask about your new projects. Oh my gosh, I'm the worst. Please plug your stuff or tell us what you're doing now. What's new? What's next for Stephen and Filip?
Filip, you go first. I prepare my stuff.
Okay, what I'm currently doing is to write a sonata of 3 movements for oboe and guitar.
Oboe and guitar. Oh, cool, nice.
Yeah.
Have you told Gabrielle?
Because no, not yet.
Gabrielle, if you're listening.
I'm doing that. Now. I have finished the first movement of it. The second one, I used an old piece of mine and rework it for this duo combination. And the third one, we will see what will happen. But I will finish this soon. In 1 or 2 weeks, it's gonna be finished. And otherwise, I'm currently planning. That's a bigger plan. With the orchestra to contribute this orchestra plus guitarist the third guitar concerto.
Yeah, cool. Oh, and Ross is saying great show, thanks for the entertainment for sure, and hopefully maybe one day I can have Ross on.
And that's basically it. It's basically it. As a composer, you write simply stuff, not always to expect that instantly you benefit from it. Yeah. It's like also the output which comes, you need to take the moment.
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah, you can't predict it.
You can't predict it. Why throwing away an inspiration or idea you have just because you can't get any attention yet of it or something? Just be productive. That's always what I'm telling also my composing students. Yeah. Do it. Yeah. Do it simply.
Very good. Very good.
And
that's actually a nice segue towards. Sorry,
Heike said thank you guys. Great evening with you for sure. Hopefully, maybe I can also bring Heike on one day soon. But Stephen, you were going to say your next project.
Yeah, so it would be a nice segue actually to just produce something, right? So when Corona hit, like my whole social media feed was full of people complaining, concerts canceled and festivals canceled, and of course we're all in that same boat. So I wasn't particularly interested to participate in the whining about that. So instead, I got really inspired to start drawing some new designs. Okay, so I came up with a plan to try and produce sort of the most crazy elaborate instrument that I've built so far.
Cool.
So this guitar is going to be called Frida, which is based on a female friend I have who is very dear and who is a special woman. And this is sort of a tribute inspired by her.
Cool.
She's probably not listening, but that's fine. So I can show you the top here quickly.
Oh, very cool. Beautiful rosé. Oh yeah, I saw a picture of this.
Yeah, so exactly. So why is this relevant? You wouldn't believe how many comments I get per day from people like writing me that they are somehow really appreciating my work, or that they're incredibly thankful for the small moments they have when they watch their phone, that they see something that they really like and they tell me that it's beautiful or whatever. So that's also what is very motivating about this sort of thing, because this is incredibly difficult to make, and I made all these bits by hand, right? And they're mother of pearls, that seashell. So I find, and it's also the instrument that Filip is playing, I find so much meaning in the thoughts that what I produced is still going to be relevant in so many years after me, you know? Yeah. Also the thought that Filip is using my guitar while teaching, or while giving masterclasses, or while giving concerts. So many people are seeing, not just him, but they're seeing my guitar. And Filip is using my guitar to express himself. And it's incredible to think about the people's experiences, because if I think about my sort of personal experiences in concerts, I always remember the vibe, the sound, even how the musician like was breathing or was staying and keeping in touch with this instrument, and I'm part of that. With each instrument that I produce and that I will sell, I'm part of this huge journey for long after I am around, and it's going to continue, because that's what I found so incredibly inspiring about old instruments, that they're still being used today, like makers, or for composers as well, for music, like people who have passed away maybe hundreds of years ago, and still their like productions are still relevant to this day.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And that's what I find so incredibly motivating. And that's also why I don't understand so many people like being so nihilistic about the fact that they have like an art to offer and that is sort of not appreciated. I mean, they haven't looked deep enough to find the meaning in what they do. I mean,
well,
if you
and
ask
also they
any...
don't know the legacy necessarily, because you don't know who is going to appreciate it later or remember the things you did that you aren't remembering. Like, you may play a small little concert, and for some audience member, it's a life-changing thing that you don't think about, you know. So
yeah, but you should, but because that's what will keep you motivated once you have your darker hours, you know.
Yeah.
If you think about how you have been inspired, particularly, or me, let's just I've been inspired by so many like performances that maybe other people would have found irrelevant, but it has inspired me to produce stuff like this, you know.
Yeah.
So,
well, or like for me, the concert that sort of changed my life was seeing Toma Vilato in Calgary, right after I started playing classical guitar, because I started very late as an adult, and right after I started playing and I went to his concert, it was like life-changing. But for him, I don't think that was a particularly special concert. Like, maybe it was, but I don't think he's going to remember in 15-20 years every detail of that concert in Calgary, but I remember like most of it, you know, because it was a turning point for me. So it's just your perception is different than the audience and different than the people you encounter. They might remember something that you don't, you know.
Yeah, sure. And maybe someone really appreciated whatever you've done, but you will never find out that they find it meaningful or that it's important in their life. But this also keeping part of that, you should have this sort of, I think, this, well, maybe this transcendent thought somehow, without making it religious. You can think of like what it might turn into something, you know. And also when I created this headstock, for instance, you know, people wrote me that it sort of reminded them of time and space or whatever, some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm like, wow, you know, I didn't think of that. But they write me like memoirs of whatever they think of it, you know. And it's incredibly interesting. And also through social media, we are so connected. Or no, I should say we have the possibility to stay connected.
Yeah, it doesn't always connect people. It depends how it's used.
No, and many people sort of anti-capitalist type of people who might not like social media.
Right, Well, it has a dark side for sure, but
yeah, it has,
Yeah, but everything has a dark side.
Yeah, it's true.
And you have to contend with also not doing something has a dark side.
It's true. Yeah.
So and I mean, for me anyways, the positive effect of social media is definitely outweighing the negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's kind of for us musicians a great tool to connect and stuff. When you watch the current news feeds, how people are battling around certain stuff.
I'm laughing because of one of the comments. Matthew Silverman says the Force has a dark side. Very true.
Yeah.
Sorry, Philip, you're saying.
I'm saying just one thing. Many people who had not this beautiful passion, which we all share as musicians, are very arguing more or less about anything. When you look at the comments, you just want to read an article which is appearing and people are smashing each other, very big insults all the time. There is a big dark side which has impact also on our daily life. In a very negative way, where people start to believe stuff which is so hilarious that you can't even don't understand how. Don't understand how.
Flat earthers and
Yeah.
But this has to do with how people understand knowledge, like epistemology, right? How they come to what they believe is true. And I don't think that the problem is we can't turn back from having the internet. It's just there, you know.
No.
So the only way to
accept it.
Yeah, the only way to counteract it is to help people have a better epistemology of how to evaluate information, right? So unfortunately.
Absolutely
But
right.
that's not gonna change without social media. You know, it's just gonna.
It's kind of weird, or
Yeah.
before you didn't recognize that people in daily life before social media that they are so sensible towards this phenom
Yeah.
now, which we
Yeah.
are talking about.
Yeah.
And now with social media, we see there is a problem with
Yeah.
the epistemology, as you said.
Yeah.
And, yeah, as Steven said, mostly it has positive aspects,
Yeah.
not just negative.
Yeah, it depends on your point of view, but it has a lot of positive ones. I mean, it is also problematic for artists in the sense that now everything is expected to be for free. You make all the content for free, and then you ask for donations, like with the stream. You spend a lot of time on things that people just expect to get. But on the other side, you can connect with people around the world, like you guys. I never knew you before. Now we have this connection, you know, and we collaborate together in the future, now, you know, whenever. The point is, it has that positive effect on your career as well. So it's really hard to evaluate, I think, how
No,
much
I think in the way you use it. I mean, social media is not your life.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't use it as your life.
It shouldn't be your
But
life,
it's
yeah.
it's
Never.
just sort of, what would you say, another dimension for you to express yourself in art. So what I would suggest for whatever who's listening, who's sort of struggling with this stuff, is like, don't see it as it's sort of what would you say, that it's sort of bad to participate in showing off.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be it's really fair if you worked hard on something
To share it, yeah.
to just show it to people
Yeah.
and like be appreciated for that. You shouldn't be ashamed for that. And that's also the problem with social media, because there's so much like shit shaming going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
it's incredibly interesting to watch. I never got the point. And then but of course Instagram is full of like beautiful people with their big smiles, and life is perfect, right?
Yeah,
No.
you look Instagram and you think every guy is a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
No,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
what some people would say is that life is suffering, which might be the case. You know, we all have our dark moments, so we should use this stuff to connect with other people, because that's what creates meaning between people.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I have found so much meaning in this conversation with you two, and I would have never met you guys without Facebook.
Yeah.
Both of you
True,
I
though.
found through Facebook.
No.
But it's not the only thing you should do. So this is my tip for everybody. You should
Yes.
like whatever, make a website, make your damn business cards, even though it might feel like, oh, it's so capitalist to have it. No, you
No.
want to present yourself in the best way you can. So you try to have as many assets as you can. So you participate in random concerts of colleagues. You go there, you meet them, you congratulate them on what they did. You be proud of what other people achieved, not just promote yourself. So you share other ones, people that you like, you share stuff. Okay, so then you do that, and then you go to festivals. So you meet people there, you have master classes. You connect with friends and try to inspire them to have like real conversations, not be offended if someone doesn't agree with you, but fight it out and find out why you think differently. And that's where you find meaning in your life and in whatever you do.
True though. The attempt towards it is important. When everything triggers the shit out of you, everything. I mean, nearly everything. You can see everywhere negative stuff, or you can start to take your life in your own hands and try to do the best out of it with your talents, with your will. And that's not a capitalistic view. That's in fact a very deep humanistic view, because it gives everyone the opportunity to make the best out of himself, and that's the definition of freedom.
Yes.
And that's something I really adore nowadays. That I see on Facebook. I'm not liking much other guitarists, or don't share that much of them. But I see the videos. I see so many talented people which I would never have seen without it. So for me, clearly, social media has nothing to do yet with capitalism in that way we artists use it. If it would have to do something with capitalism, we would, as Michael said, we would earn constantly something with it. But it's not about because
I mean, I would say just as a practical thing, like I think if you want to use social media for your artistic stuff, like it's just a matter of don't expect that. Well, first of all, don't expect that you're going to sell a lot out of it necessarily, but use it for other reasons, which is what you're talking about: connecting, collaborating, appreciating,
Yes.
sharing, getting your products heard, which sounds really
Yes.
cynical, but you know, it's important actually. So
Yeah.
if you perform, you need people to hear it. You know, it's just. But the thing is, you still have to know where your value is as like for what you charged for to make your living as a musician, and
Yes.
you know,
but social media shouldn't be your only asset in that manner. It
exactly.
should just
Yeah.
It should boost whatever you have going in real life.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why you need it. Because
Yeah,
it's
but
actually
it's not real life. That's for sure.
no.
Yeah. No,
and-
it can have a certain positive impact, but I'm telling I like to show my art, and I have get in contact to watch people who are also playing my stuff and so on, also over this media, because I cannot visit as a music teacher. You know that for yourself the best. I cannot visit 25 festivals per year.
Yeah, yeah.
And the music school I have a permanent contract in. I can't say like. Okay, guys, I'm going now away for a vacation, 2 months, like chilling on festivals, drinking beer with the dudes, and listening to concerts. No, it's good that we have this media, but as you said, Michael, we should keep the value of art up. That means this kind of I give for free a concert and the stuff. It's not good for the real business then out there.
Terrible.
Because people start to expect then that we as performers and as this stuff that we actually are just there to have fun, but we are also there. Yeah, we have to make a living out of our profession, and that's the point. But I think after Corona, this discussion will also have an end.
Yeah,
it's right now because everyone is nearly sitting home doing nothing.
Yeah,
and after that we will have all the same concerts and festivals and all the stuff, and all will go.
We'll see what happens with that. Yeah,
and also for like the nihilistic guitarist who might be listening, you know. So if you feel like you have something to say, in terms of expressing your art in whatever manner, then social media is a great addition to whatever else you have going. So I don't see the point in not doing it, because it's just like another chess piece of your chess set.
Yeah.
And actually, it might even be more fundamental than that. But so what are you going to do if you meet someone new, if you get like their business card, and then you're going to Google them?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to Google them. What have they done? Do they have a track record? Like, do they have a website? All these kinds of things are relevant to that. And there's nothing wrong with like having a decent social media profile, or like LinkedIn or whatever you have going. It's great to have that asset, and you shouldn't feel ashamed to present yourself in a way that shows you from a nice side, because in the end you are being paid to show your nice side in a concert. So you should be absolutely using that as well in social media, because social media is not necessarily for you just to show to not show anything at all, you know?
Yeah.
And then some people use it to show everything. And then I'm like, well, okay, maybe some parts of my life I wouldn't like to share with social media because I don't feel it's relevant towards my audience.
I need to tell you that I know from 50% out of my list what they had at the dinner. No? And it's you don't need to share every bit of your life in a way. I'm very, very consequent. I share mostly my compositions and my stuff, and what I'm sometimes rarely, sometimes something private. When I don't know if you have seen it, Michael, when I did my balcony, when I was proud of that so much.
Right.
But my private life or my private relations, people don't know.
Yeah, well,
and that's kind of also self-protection for me, because I don't want to have my loved ones that they are part of my advertisement. I'm using it for music because I love music. Always.
And for me, I don't feel obligated to share like my personal or political beliefs with my social media audience, because that's not why they follow me. They follow me because
I think it depends what kind of network you have, and if it's like a personal page or a professional page, all these things, you know. So
Yeah, but even my personal page has turned into like guitar related, curly hair related things.
Yeah.
So I might like share like my birthday with my family or something like that, but
Yeah.
I don't feel that my audience demands my sort of beliefs or values or whatever about like personal things.
Yeah.
And that's why I say that social media is not your life. It's just another part of your life. You could see it like that. And I have like with
Tool.
Filip, I have with Filip like 3 hour long discussions on political stuff or personal stuff. So I do that with a friend. I don't feel obligated to share that with my social media following.
Right. Yeah. Well, guys.
Yeah,
the
people are very aggressive today.
The Zoom meeting.
Towards this.
The Zoom meeting is about to end again, actually. So
Ah.
let's play the Bach before that happens. And
Okay.
Wrap up our conversation. Thank you guys both. It's been amazing.
Yeah, no, thanks for
My
having
pleasure,
me.
Michael. Thanks and greetings to all who have watched.
Yeah.
Yes,
Have a nice night.
Thank you for all the positive comments and big thank you. You're my rock.
Yeah. You guys.
Thanks
are
for
awesome.
having us.
Okay, I'm gonna play the Bach quickly, and I will turn off our audio here. And this is again you playing on Lucy, your own transcription of the Toccata and Fugue.
Toccata and Fugue in D minor. Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Cool. Let's hear it.